Okay, that's doing.
All right, let's do it. Tonight, we review Godzilla Vs Kong and Episode 3 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. All of this and more tonight on The Real Super Geeks.
On your capes.
Geeks Edge of the Real Super Geeks podcast. My name is Carlos Pedraza. And welcome to the Real Super Geeks podcast. It is Friday, April 2nd, 2021, aka 2020 Part 2. Though things are looking up. And Ross, I just have to say, I love every week when you add that little to the Super Geeks. It moves me. It sends me. It works for me.
It gives it a little extra oomph.
It does. It's literally an extra oomph. So thank you, Ross, for making the intro so thrilling, really thrilling.
Carlos identifies with the weed.
Glad to contribute.
I do. Well, my name is Carlos Pedraza. You have already heard from Ross Bullock, a.k.a. the Eyebrows of Doom. And welcome to this week's edition of the Real Super Geeks podcast. We have so much to talk about. You've already heard the two top reviews we're going to be doing. We've been waiting weeks, months, years for Godzilla Vs Kong. And yeah, we're going to see about that this week, as well as our continuing view of Falcon and the Winter Soldier and some other Star Wars news, etc. But first, let's start out with introductions of my fellow hosts. You've already heard from the Eyebrows of Doom, but let's check in with the rest, starting with, well, he's, I guess, the Walking Wounded, the Walking Recovering, the Walking Dead. I'm not sure what to call you, Fosse. Ensign Beard Fosse, a.k.a. Jason Kovalik. Welcome back. You look like you were at least able to get on your feet to some degree. How are you doing, Jason?
I'm doing good. I drove for the first time since my surgery. So
wow, really?
Today. Yeah, tonight drove.
I assume automatic transmission.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Road recovery is good. Last weekend was hell with the second Pfizer shot, but feeling much better this week, and I'm looking forward to actually getting back to the office next week.
Awesome. Well, whatever vacation you were on last week just made you hilarious. So, if you want to take some tonight, I'm just saying. Although, I'm sure you'll be your peppy self as usual.
Greg isn't on a tango with, so
Greg he's checking in, so
I just have to say, of course, it's automatic because the only person who likes stick shift is Carlos.
I love stick shifts.
I love stick shifts too, but my wife. I love stick shifts too, but my wife can't drive one, and I tried teaching her.
That's what she said.
And
I'm just just exposing everybody today.
I guess you are. Wow. Since I guess that means we should go to you next. Sunseal, how are you? And more importantly, where the hell are you this week?
He's been remembering to ask.
So yeah, he has been remembering to ask. That's really great. I
try to improve every day in every way.
I don't see the code anymore. I see dragon, femboy, tomboy.
She's beginning to believe.
Oh man, yes.
So yeah, I'm kind of stuck in this space now.
In the Matrix. You're stuck in the Matrix.
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm not stuck in the Matrix because that's the simulation. I'm stuck in the code of the Matrix.
That's so meta.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Well, at least you can see your way through it.
That's true.
Oh,
Indeed.
geez.
Thank you. I'm here all week. And stalwart producer Justin Burton, how are you doing this week?
I am doing very good. It's a pretty good week so far. I've recovered from my shot. Had no adverse effects that are leaking.
Okay, good. Keep that microphone close to your mouth there, dude, so we can hear every nugget of wisdom that you're going to be imparting tonight. We've already said hi, but we haven't actually found out how you are. Ross Bullock, Eyebrows of Doom, speak.
It's been a week of late nights trying to keep ahead of everything. So, yay! That's been my week.
Well,
Okay,
that sounds exciting.
That'll
so,
do.
So you're not going to tell us what everything is? You said you've been
Everything
trying to
in the
keep in
mystery.
front of everything. Well, what exactly everything are you talking about?
Everything is awesome.
Life,
Okay,
everything is awesome.
So Ross is just so exhausted, he's out of it. Got it. Okay.
Exactly. Take some of what
You need
Fasse
to
takes. It
tell
might work.
me.
It might work for you. Which brings us to the growling man, Travis Lane. Well, I don't know if Lane's trap is growling, but Travis is growling.
Yes,
Okay,
am.
I know you got news for me, Travis. Lay it on me.
Yeah. Lane's here in spirit today.
What is he dead?
No, he's not dead. He's fine.
Pokemon don't die.
Yeah, Lane doesn't die. He had a little accident, unfortunately.
Did you not
Oh.
change his diaper? You really need to
doesn't
change his
want
diaper.
to.
So Lane is spending the weekend in the Poke Center.
He's spending the week in the Poke Center hospital thing. I mean, like, Sunseal knows what the Poke Center is. Carlos, the Poke Center is a Pokemon hospital. He had a little bit of he had some hot liquid poured on him, and
Oh,
And not in a good way?
Did he
not in a
confess?
good way. What?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It wasn't lava, was it?
No, it wasn't lava. It was just like this thing I was drinking, and
Is he stained? Is that what you're saying? He's stained?
We love him no matter what color
We love-
he is.
I- we love
Hey
you no
guys,
matter-
what was
no matter
yesterday?
if You're stained. What?
What was yesterday?
Yesterday was... Yes, but that was yesterday. You're not allowed to do a pool on April 2nd.
Ooh, close enough, buddy.
Hey, listen. Travis is well known for the April Fool's jokes that go all the month of April. So
Oh, yeah.
Knock
That
it
is
off.
true.
Yeah,
I
I
should have
should
remembered that.
Don't bring it up.
Last
It never
year,
happened.
Travis
Never happened.
changed-
I will send Lane to bed if you insist that it happened. It did not happen.
Last year, Travis did
No, it didn't.
remember.
No, it didn't.
Travis.
He's denying it. He's
It did
denying
not
it.
happen.
I
No.
would just like to say
Well-
there is absolutely no reason whatsoever that the Pee-wee's Playhouse shitposting group exists.
For an entire month. Thank you,
No,
Facebook.
I mean exists as a separate group, like entirely. There's
Oh.
no reason whatsoever that the Pee-wee's Playhouse shitposting group exists for any reason
It
whatsoever.
really does. There really is no reason for it to exist. I made it after that whole thing, and it
And
doesn't
yet-
get any activity in it. What is going on?
That's
Why
the
am I
intro to Pee-wee's Playhouse.
That's the
Oh,
intro.
I know
to-
nothing about the show, ironically enough. So
What? Oh, Travis. Travis,
Copyright.
you need to watch that show. You do.
I
It
do
is
not
a
need to
delight.
watch that show.
Yes, you do. It is a delight.
No, I do
Mecca lecca
not.
high, mecca
I
high
will
ho.
not watch the show. It's the fact that it's now permanently tied to my legacy of
look,
mortality is
That's
more than
that's
enough.
exactly why you have to confront this demon. You
The
have to
only
confront the
reason
demons.
you need to watch Pee-wee's Playhouse is to see Lawrence Fishburne as Cowboy Curtis.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
funny.
true. He's pretty damn
Pretty
hilarious. And there's so much more. There's so much more. Don't
In
let this
other-
one little thing trip you up.
And there's also another reason.
Okay, another news, Travis.
It's very like life has been pretty normal for the most part. I'm actually feeling much better than I was last week.
Glad to hear.
And on some more good news, I'm sure you all have seen her in the chat. Raina's feeling much better. She's actually had some really good recovery, so we're
happy for you both.
Good to hear.
Talk tonight.
That's all right. We do
Glad
see
to-
Raina in the
glad to
chat.
see you
So
here,
Raina,
Raina, and
yes, indeed.
yeah, glad your recovery is just going up.
Travis just knows chicks dig the bui.
Here's another reason for Pee-wee's Playhouse.
I subject myself to enough crap.
It is not crap, dude.
It is high art.
It is high art. And high.
I wouldn't call it
Absolutely,
high art.
goddamn sure.
Well, you have to be high in
You
order
look-
to enjoy it, Fuzzy.
You look deep, Fasse. Look deep.
So
Okay, let's find out how.
he was on in last week. It's gonna be fine.
Okay, we need to check in with Raul the Baul, and then we can begin the many topics we have to cover today. Raul the Baul, how are you this week?
I am doing fine. I don't have a lot to report. I'm working on a new novel project, and that's what's taking most of my time. But I do have some insights for you guys tonight.
Oh, good. Does any of them have to do with the new gods? Because you look like one of them, the High Father.
I wish I were that cool, but no. I'm
Well,
not.
you've got it going on, man. I'm just saying.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we'll get there when we get there. Let's start off with two quick tidbits of news before we dive into the big news for today. And the first, which was the announcement this week that San Diego Comic-Con is in fact planning on having a face-to-face F2F live in-person convention this year on Thanksgiving weekend. Number one, this is just a quick hot take. Are any of you planning on going? Number two, do you think anyone's planning on going? Number three, do you think anyone's planning on going because it's Thanksgiving after a pandemic? What are they thinking? Chime in. Ross, you get to start.
This says it all.
Okay, that does say it all. Fasse?
I mean, I'm ecstatic that it's looking like we could be having in-person conventions later in the fall.
Yes, but Thanksgiving?
No, I mean, you know, who knows
Don't
what
these people
celebrities
have
might
families?
need things to do that weekend.
They don't have families?
They don't have families anymore.
I'm just saying.
Did that go out with the 70s?
I'm just saying, like, I wonder, like, my question isn't, like, will they be able to attract, you know, what do you call it?
Idiots.
Celebrities. I mean, like, will they be able to attract?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm more concerned about the crowds. If the crowds will show up in order to support such a big convention.
I think it's too early to be having anything like this. I would be
I agree.
more comfortable with it being next year.
I think you could get away with it in terms of it being safe enough. But
Yeah, but also, where are they having it?
but it's Thanksgiving weekend. People have
Right,
not
but
seen
where are
their
they having
family in San Diego. Duh.
Oh God, yeah.
It's just people have not seen their families. They missed Thanksgiving last year. They're not going to miss it 2 years in a
They
row.
didn't miss Thanksgiving last
Unless
year. We
you
saw what
lived in
happened to
the
COVID
South.
numbers after Thanksgiving.
Well,
they didn't miss Thanksgiving last year, Carlos.
There's plenty of
Carlos.
people who did. There are plenty of people who did.
Did you just call them Carcos?
Carlos?
I'm just going to round up to the correct pronunciation and move to the second piece of news, which is kind of sad news, which was, well, it is sad news. I should just be upfront with that. But for those of you who are Star Trek fan film fans, Barbara, or you know of Barbara Reeder, she ran a website for many years called Star Trek Reviewed. It was it was first a blog and then a website. She was a New York attorney who passed away this week from cancer, and has been getting many plaudits and has been lauded for her work in supporting Star Trek fan films. So I just wanted to point that out. She was unfortunately a big backer of Axanar, even after so much of the truth about it came out, but that shouldn't tarnish her legacy, which is a good one. So sorry for that, Barbara. And there's your moment of silence. Okay, moving on now to, unless anyone wants to say anything about Barbara, this is your chance.
I'm not very familiar with Star Trek fan films, so I don't have much to say there.
Okay. Well, then let's move on to the big news of the week, and that was the release this week of Godzilla Vs Kong. We have been, it has been indeed hyped for many, many months now. And I think, has everyone seen it? Did everyone get a chance to see it? Ross did. Travis did.
Did you guys get No Man's Sky?
Before we go any further,
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
you have been warned.
Thank you. You have been warned. Okay, so let's get down. Let's get down to brass tacks. Fasse, did you see it?
No.
Oh yeah, that was kind of my reaction too, actually. Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh,
now.
Carlos died.
No!
I
You
saw
did
that
not
guy
happen.
died.
I blame Godzilla for that one. Okay, so let's just go in there. Did we love it? Did we hate it? We'll talk about why, but did we love it? Did we hate it? Ross,
I liked it.
you liked it? Fasse?
I didn't see it.
Oh, okay. I thought you
Just
did.
said that.
Okay. Stalwart Justin.
I
Thumbs
watched
up?
it. It was okay. It was okay. But I have my problems with it.
Okay. Baul,
No, I did not see it.
you did not see it. Travis, I know you saw it.
I did see it.
So
I liked it.
really?
Yeah. I'll go into detail shortly if you really want me to,
Okay.
because I will.
We
I'm
do.
going to walk off camera and just go grab a big old stack of monster movies that I have here.
I know you have them. Son, did you get a chance to see it?
Nope.
No. Are you planning on seeing it?
HBO Max. Nope.
I thought
It's also the theater.
It did come out in theater today.
It did, and in fact, it is setting records
It's
in
not
theaters.
in our theater.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently 60% of American theaters are open this weekend, and many of them are showing Godzilla vs. Kong, and it's doing pretty well, actually, for, a pandemic-struck theater. What are you smiling at, Ross?
Oh, just the thought of Tenet's director.
Yes.
I imagine he is just pacing a hole in the floor of his home, considering the records that Tenet could have set, or that Godzilla is setting instead. His high art, high film must be seen in a theater to get the true, full experience of what movies are. And here's your average blockbuster popcorn film setting the records that his film should have rightly gotten.
If its timing had been better,
I do gotta say, watching it on a bigger screen, it's a better experience than watching it on a smaller screen.
Is this where you're going to officially gloat over having your big projector, your 1080p projector?
Yes.
Okay, I'm giving you your chance. This was your chance.
Yes.
Okay.
Because, this was the best purchase.
Okay, so basically, of the people who saw it, Ross liked it, Justin liked it, Travis liked it.
Carlos had
say
issues.
I can't say I hated it. I didn't hate it. Like, I'm
It's
glad I
likable,
saw it.
but campy.
But good God. Good God. Good
Unpredictable.
God. It
Zilla.
was a mess. It was a hot mess. It was
I
a
just knew
fun
someone was
hot
gonna
mess,
drop that.
but it was a hot mess.
See, that's what
More
I'm getting at.
or
Is
less-
unpredictable and campy.
More or less of a hot mess than King of the Monsters.
You know, I
No
didn't see
worries.
King of Monsters, so
Is
I
this-
I
saw
haven't either.
which
All
was
right, I
the
will
big
be
Godzilla
talking about
that
King of the
did come
Monsters
out.
here shortly.
What was the big Godzilla that came out that I did like?
Pacific Rim.
2014.
Was it 2014?
The 2014 film, Gareth
Yeah.
Edwards.
Yes.
I like that one a lot.
I like that one a lot, actually. Oh, shut up, Andrew. You look like Matt Gates. There I go.
Oh, wait,
There you
Andrew,
go.
if you would like to
Do
come
I
on,
need to give do I need to give you two some time to just figure things out?
I think I need to give Andrew
Yes,
no link
please.
until you come on here and take it. Say his skills.
So Carlos, Justin, for those of you that it's a freaking monster movie. Like, what do you expect? It's not high art.
Well,
It's
Doug,
not
that's
like
the whole
Freaking
point.
monster movie that they spend hundreds of millions of dollars
All right.
on.
But it's
Okay.
supposed to be a
What?
campy, fun mess. That's what the
Doug?
genre is.
All right.
That's the point.
You know why
Yeah,
I'm laughing?
it's not Shakespeare. It's not Shakespeare, guys.
I'm not asking for Shakespeare.
I mean,
I'm
it's
asking
not
for
Power Rangers.
coherence. I'm asking for character development. I'm asking for
In Godzilla.
hundreds of
Kong's
millions
got a lot
the
of character
2014
development in this
Listen,
film.
when you're
Carlos,
watching
version-
Godzilla, when
We're
you're
one
watching
Power
God,
Rangers.
when you're watching a Godzilla film, you expect a big honking lizard fighting another big honking monster, and they just go at it over and over and over, and they fight. That's the point of the movie.
Okay.
You know, I hate to agree with Jason, but it's true.
All right, I'm gonna.
So this argument that you guys are having reminds me exactly of the shitstorm that erupted over Godzilla 2000.
Oh God! Oh wait, no.
comparable.
2000.
I mean, that's why.
Okay,
that's why
2000 I'm okay with. 2000 I'm okay with.
That's
It's
why I was so
94
amazed
that
at how
scars me.
good 2014 was.
Wait,
2014
guys,
was a good movie.
we haven't let Travis talk. Go ahead, Travis.
All right, Travis, jump in.
All right, you guys are not going to be able to shut me up. Just fair warning.
Well, we'll
I
have
talked
to
a bit
at some
about
point.
this. Like I've talked about this in the chat earlier today. I have been watching these movies for near 20 years now. I have plenty of them here right now, and the MonsterVerse is something I have been following since day one. Like I went and saw Godzilla 2014 in theater opening night, and it's like I know that this is a bit of a hot take, but it is one of my personal favorite Godzilla movies out there, and it's remains so. When it comes to Godzilla vs Kong, I was nervous. Like you guys know, I was nervous. I'm sure we'll talk about a lot of the things that I was nervous about, but I actually enjoyed this film far more than I thought I would. Maybe that was me just saying maybe that was me just trying to turn my brain off for a bit. But when it comes to the other films, like Kong Skull Island was a movie I personally liked as well, but King of the Monsters, as special as that film is for me on a personal level, because it's the movie that I went and saw with my girlfriend for the very first time in theaters. It was our first date movie, yes. We had fun. It's a very, very forgettable story, though. And the action in this movie is kind of underwhelming. Like, if I were to give these movies a rating, I would probably give Godzilla 2014 a 9 out of 10 because I'm that much of a biased jerk. And Kong Skull
I'm totally
Island,
with you. I'm totally with you. As a monster movie, 9 out of 10. 2014.
Kong Skull Island is about, I think I gave it an 8.
I'd give it more of a 7, but, not far off.
But King of the Monsters is like a 5 or a 6 for me.
Which makes it a hard pass for me.
And I was very, very nervous that this film might go similar routes. Now, it's not perfect. There are 3 characters in this movie that, I watched it with my roommates last night, and every single time these 3 were on screen, this podcast dude, and the two kids were just like, good fucking God, these people add nothing to the plot. Why are they here? Why are they here? Like,
I thought they were going to bust out the Morphers and turn into Power Rangers.
Yes, you're so right, Travis.
But when it comes to the other characters, they were like, I actually really kind of dug the little girl's bond with Kong.
Oh yeah, no, that worked for me. That worked for me. Yes.
And I dug,
well, I would have liked.
Let him finish. Go ahead, Travis.
Well, I would have liked the bond to be explored a little bit more, and like the bond that the woman and the little girl have potentially. Like, this could have been fleshed out a bit more. It was enough for me to care. This is something that I desperately want from most monster movies.
Love.
Give me characters to care about, even if they are not written the best. Like, give me a reason to care. Cloverfield is a shining example here. The writing of that movie is dog shit. The dialogue in this movie, like
Godzuki!
I don't have my glasses on, so you'll have to take that off the thing. The dialogue in Cloverfield may as well make it like you may as well put those characters in middle school. That's how the dialogue feels. Like, oh, they slept with one another, you know, that kind. Like, it's like, oh, this I heard this when I was in fucking middle school, high school. But like, they still gave me a reason to care. Like, when people like the relationships felt natural. Like, there was enough motive for me to like get attached to some people, as simple as it was.
Apparently, Greg, you are speaking for the people. I'm sorry, and, Travis, you were speaking for the people this week. And
like there were characters here that I could care about. That was great. And while like some of like yes, like some of the science was absolutely batshit crazy nonsense, I don't really care too much in this area, quote unquote too much. We'll talk a bit more about how I wish that I really don't care for the fact that this universe kind of shifted in tone as it did. But in terms of like just enjoyability, I very much like I was pleasantly surprised by a lot of this. The fights were much better than King of the Monsters. There was actual impact again. Like, this was like stuff that I was cheering mentally in Godzilla 2014 theater when I saw the impacts of that fight. Yep. Like, oh yes, and here it was very close, if not matching some of that. And like you compare that to frickin' King of the Monsters, which just lacked that oomph. Like,
not
the
even
finish.
it wasn't even on my radar. King of the Monsters.
Did they bring back The Rock for this one?
No, they did not bring back.
Oh, you're missing a joke. You damn with faint praise, Passe.
The three characters that we're all complaining about, I think they were added in because they don't fit anywhere in the damn story. They feel out of place. It bugs me the entire fucking film every time they come on camera together. I mean,
they had to. I'm guessing they had to include them because they were in King of the Monsters, but they were just as forgettable in that movie as they are here.
Yeah, I mean, they don't mean nothing. I mean,
all three were all three in King of the Monsters.
The little girl was. I don't think the other two.
What about the podcaster?
The podcaster.
I don't know if he was. I know, but I mean, Little Girl with Kong. Now that was a good storyline. I'm not complaining about that. I'm complaining.
No. He's talking about Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, that shit was not needed to include in the plot. We could have honestly done without it. It felt super campy. I thought they were going to bust out the Morphers, turn into Power Rangers in a second because that's what it.
They weren't even that. They weren't even that good.
Yeah, I mean,
but yes, like when it. Like, I take issue with, like, it's a monster movie. Like, this is the same kind of nonsense excuse that people throw at chick flicks.
Thank you, Travis and Lane.
I'm not asking for Citizen Kane. Like, I know that with a monster movie, there's going to be some hokey fun and whatnot, but there are monster movies that are well written and well worth your time.
2014!
2014 is an example.
Exactly.
I will list a few others, like Godzilla vs. Destroyer. I thought was actually a really good movie. Return of Godzilla, which is Godzilla 1984, I think. 82? No, it's 84.
84.
It's basically direct sequel to the original Godzilla, which I thought was actually really well done. Even like monsters like Gamera, the Heisei trilogy of the Gamera series is actually regarded as one of the best series of films. His 60s films are junk, but his films that came out in the 90s were fantastic. Like, they gave Godzilla films at the same time a run for their money. They were that great. And like, just seeing, like, when people say like, oh, it's just a monster movie, like, you don't need a good story. Like, it just feels like you're throwing like so many monster movies like the 1933 King Kong or 1954 Godzilla right under a bus. Those had
I
great
totally
stories.
agree with you, Travis. I think the idea that because it's a monster movie, it doesn't need a story is ridiculous, and it's a cop out. I almost said fucking cop out.
Wait a minute. Are we agreeing on this?
Yeah, Travis.
Greg?
already put up the
I've
achievement
been
thing.
Yeah,
Greg
as
is
far as
using
me and
your
Travis, sure.
Listen, I think monster movies are like a Big Mac. You know what you're getting. You go to the restaurant. You order it. You're not ordering a Big Mac because you want.
Why are you making these excuses? Why?
No, it's
There's a Big
true.
Mac.
They're
Has a bit of
spending
Big Mac.
hundreds of millions of dollars on this movie.
Wait. I think I could sum this. I haven't even seen the movie, and I think I can sum this a whole lot better than Justin is with Jason is with the same analogy. Okay. Your typical monster movie is like a Big Mac. You're going for a Big Mac. Now, just because you had McDonald's premium side thing for a burger doesn't mean you should expect every other burger after that to be just the same as that premium burger you had. They're all still fucking Big Macs.
Again,
I just don't think that the fandom is that discerning in this case.
Well, I'm
The reviewers
glad to be
certainly
a
are.
unique part of the fandom then, because, well, frankly, I don't really identify with the Godzilla fandom because a lot of them are very toxic people that are very annoying. Like, real talk, I was full on rooting for Kong in this movie, and even though I knew that they would probably just go the safe route and just give Godzilla the victory, like, I loved seeing Kong just whoop Godzilla's ass in Hong Kong for the short amount of time that he did. It was badass. I loved that battle axe. I loved the fun that they had with Kong. Like you guys don't understand how like geek out I was watching this because
I kept expecting a Megazord transformation.
Because like
Enough, Justin. Once was
Seriously,
enough.
we don't care about the fucking Power Rangers.
Well, I care,
like-
but Jesus, man.
like watching this film, I was actually remembering watching the original King Kong versus Godzilla and like some of the fun that they had, like analyzing the monsters.
They did the tree thing. They
Yeah,
did
they
the
did.
tree
They
thing.
did.
and like seeing like
When
in
he
the
threw the
American
tree, or which
version-
one do you mean?
No, when he stuffed the axe down Godzilla's throat.
Oh,
like-
okay.
in the American version, they added some scenes where like they have these two people like kind of analyzing the monster, like, oh, Godzilla is brute force, but Kong is a thinking creature, and like
Oh yeah, I remember
like,
that.
they showed Kong with a sizable level of intelligence using tools that he's mirroring maybe primates don't mirror sign language as humans do and understand it, but like seeing Kong use tools like primates have been seen doing and whatnot is just like, oh, they're just going all out, doing their best to show that these two monsters are like a legitimate match for one another, even if one has to fall. I loved it. Like, I loved that they just did not like they didn't like handicap anybody. They went full out.
So
And
now I understand why Justin keeps referencing the Power Rangers. So what you're saying is Kong was trained by Jane Goodall, who's a head in a jar on a mech.
Oh, okay. Can we talk about Mechagodzilla for a little bit?
Oh my
not.
god, that was so.
Come on, you guys. It was a major part of this story. Okay.
Justin, you were all about it in the lead up to this film.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
you
did.
were.
Don't even try and deny it.
Okay, okay,
Don't
yes,
even
I
try
was
and
all
deny
about
it.
I wasn't. I'm not denying it, but the way they did it was just.
What?
It was just not.
What?
Oh.
They built it
And
and
now
controlled
you
it.
know
What?
why I didn't want him. There
And
in
it
the
went
first
very
place.
predictable when Alcatraz went on a rage where he could control it and start.
Yeah, but it was a
destroying
very
everything.
satisfying moment when
Yeah.
the big evil CEO got crunched by his own machine.
Oh, we all knew that was
Hoisted on
going to
his own
happen.
I
petard.
have to say,
A victim
I
of his
knew
own
it was gonna
fucking
happen.
hubris.
I am pro
Sheer fucking
Mechagodzilla
hubris.
in this movie. I am pro Mechagodzilla in this movie.
All right.
I mean, it was
Am
Am I
badass,
alone?
but it
Am
was
I
very
alone,
simple.
Ross?
I liked
very-
Mechagodzilla.
You like Mechagodzilla? Fase, you don't care yet.
Here's the thing.
Raul,
You
you
got-
haven't watched yet. Travis and Lane.
You ready for another explanation? Because I'm going to do
Well,
it.
keep it short for this one. You can go
Well-
into more detail later, but for right now, just
I'm
where did you stand on Mechagodzilla?
50-50.
Really? That's it?
50-50.
Not even like 51-49? Come on.
No, I
Give me
am
some love. Give me some
50-50.
love.
I when it comes to Mechagod. I've said this before. I just really, really wish they didn't go this route because big mechs don't fit this tone. This started off as a kind of gritty and more serious Godzilla Kong monsterverse, and the fact that they just kind of went this route feels so jarring to me.
Okay, but let's look at this from a story
I
perspective.
think it fits.
They
From
went
a-
to this
oh, I think so
realistic
too.
universe where there's a Hollow Earth.
Shut up, Jason.
And they ripped off the
Jason.
secret before to
Listen,
go
listen,
to
listen.
Hollow Earth.
Let's be honest here. This is normal Godzilla shit.
I mean,
Like,
yeah, it
this
is
is normal
God-
Godzilla shit.
I know it's normal Godzilla shit, but I was
Yeah,
hoping
but
that
from
they
a
would
story
just
perspective, it was if all it was either Kong or Godzilla needs to win, it would have been awful. Like clearly Kong lost, if that's what it was. But the point of it, from a story point of view, was them joining together to beat the human constructed, mecha villain, and and the point was that humans fuck things up, so they needed to band together to
not so
bring
much
down the
humans fucks things up. Idiots with greed fuck it up. Greedy idiots.
who are human.
You're generalizing.
Yes, I am.
So,
Human.
here's my take on the whole Mechagodzilla thing. I think it works. It's I mean it was teased. We were all for it, and I'm still kind of all for it.
I am too.
It fits with the whole Hollow Earth thing, the means that they got to the Hollow Earth, and
That's part of the
and
science
you
I didn't
needed
care
that
for.
equalizing effort in order to even out the fight between Godzilla and King Kong. And I thought the fight was satisfying. I thought it was fun, and the fact that the intellect or the mind of the monster took over in the end was a lot of fun too. It's as much as I would have liked the monster destroyed when it was still piloted by a human, so that a different kind of justice could take place. A victim of sheer fucking hubris was also quite satisfying. Yes, it was predictable. It was still fun.
Wait, who said it was predictable? Who said that?
Justin
did.
Justin's
is glaring on the
name.
screen.
Okay, well, it usually has a person's
Sure,
name
it's
next to it.
predictable. Godzilla attacks a multi-million-dollar cybernetics company in the first 5 minutes of the movie. Yes, they're involved in shady shit. Yes, they're probably the bad
Which,
guys.
by the way,
It's
how
fine.
does Godzilla know this? Like, and
because it was Ghidorah.
That's King of the Monster stuff. They basically in that movie they show that there are frequencies, there are roars that the monsters will hear and recognize as like a challenge
Thank you,
to
Justin.
their their alpha whatever, and they
I got the
base.
alpha part. I mean, that was pretty straightforward, but you didn't quite explain the whole how to,
Godzilla is able to sense rivals.
Mhm.
Right.
He senses Kong when he left Skull Island. He sensed Ghidorah when the machine was when Mechagodzilla, or at least part of it in the eye, was activated.
Mhm.
He's able to sense threats or challenges, and he goes to confront them.
Okay. All right, that
I
works.
will
for me.
say, despite like my I will say, I didn't like I said, I don't think Mechagodzilla really fits the universe. But I will say that I absolutely, positively, fucking loved how they just Mortal Kombated his ass at the very end. That was
Right?
We were
Right?
laughing like crazy in this room when it happened. Just Kong
Well,
ripping the
come
head off.
on, Justin. What did you
So
expect?
when you say Mortal Kombat, I'm picturing they pulled his skull and spine out of the body at the exact same time.
Yes,
that.
they did.
Yes.
Okay.
It was
Which,
a
by the way, is
fatality.
also Star Trek First Contact. Just say it.
Mortal Kombat.
Or
did it
Queen.
better.
That was my impression of the.
But yeah, it was straight Sub-Zero yanking the skull, ripping the spine out, hoisting it in the air,
I
and
kid you
letting
not.
out a yell of
like
victory.
as soon as it happened,
Fatality.
as soon as it happened, I very much was like, flawless or fatality.
Fatality.
You know, just
Flawless.
I
Well, it wouldn't be a
did the
flawless
voice.
victory.
And yet
They both got
you
tailed.
remain
Yes, they got.
and yet you
And a
remain
melody.
50-50 on this, Travis. You remain 50-50.
Yes, I remain.
Did you see what
50-50.
Raina had to say about that? Can you put that up, Justin?
I don't have my glasses on.
He'll put it up. She says, Raina says, he's 50-50, meaning him and Lane can't agree on it.
Would you like it?
Mechagodzilla. Come on, Lane.
And then
guys-
Greg was
you
that
guys
they had
heard him.
wanted to cross Pacific Rim with Godzilla after those first movies came out.
Maybe they could throw in a crossover with Battleship too.
Oh God!
Oh, God.
Hello.
There
Oh,
goes Rao. There goes.
You just
there
love-
goes
You
Rao.
know what they could do? You know what they could do?
You
They
are the official super troll, Fase.
You know, they could do
Angry
they,
coffee sipping.
they could do just a
Don't
big
take
huge
my memes.
Pokemon crossover and make Mothra a Butterfree.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Really, you're going to upset Lane, son.
Lane's a
Not to
water
mention
Pokemon.
Travis.
Lane's a water Pokemon. He'd be completely safe.
Indeed.
Fucking. When it comes to Mechagodzilla, the villains in this movie are kind of the they fall in the oh, I don't fucking care category with the characters. I'm about to go on a rant on some of these characters here. I just
Keep it a short rant.
Yeah, sure.
Wake me up when he's done.
no, you're fine.
Yep. Nap time.
I'm telling you, Jason, there's a reason why I can tell you why Pacific Rim works and Pacific Rim Resurgence doesn't work, okay?
That we'll save that for another day.
Yes, we'll save it for
A
another day.
worthwhile topic, but we'll
One
save
was
that for another
Godzilla,
day.
one was anime.
What?
One was Godzilla, one was anime.
No, that's not it at all.
Well,
One has charm and memorable
we'll
characters
get to
and
that
memorability. The
another
other has
day.
absolutely nothing.
We're
except
moving on
flaming
from this,
chainsaws,
folks.
which are
We are
absolutely
moving
redundant.
on. Okay.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are. Well, you're not clearly emotionally, but subject-wise, we are.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
Really an issue. Okay.
Why are you booing him? He's right.
Okay. So. Okay.
Your
so
boos
let's,
mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
All right. What is that from? That's from something.
Rick and Morty.
Thank you. Okay.
Never saw it.
All right. So, final verdict on Godzilla vs Kong. Eyebrows of Doom.
It was okay.
It was okay. If I say you don't count, Justin,
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Son didn't watch it. Travis, this is your last chance.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
An 8.
I
Okay.
enjoyed it.
All right. I'm going to stick with my 7. Although it did have parts that I really enjoyed, aka Mechagodzilla. There were parts that I thoroughly loathed, and that was the 3 characters and the
Oh,
whiskey, disrupting, defeating whiskey defeating Mechagodzilla. Come
That
on.
was so
I will say, I'll say one more thing, but while it's still on my mind, and this is a brief thing. I really, really do wish that this movie did happen to come out before a pandemic, because as lovely as some of the movie does look, there were more than a few places where I could definitely tell that the CGI was worked on from home. There was some rough patches here and there where I was just like, okay, that looks a bit out of place, and okay, those fish chunks do not look real at all. You know, that there was just bits and pieces here and there that just really stood out in the wrong ways, and it's just unfortunate that it.
Well, I like the way you put it. It looks like they were worked on from home. That's a good.
Do you think
it's how it
screened
was.
these in a full theater before they released the movie?
They probably did. But they also know that most people who are watching it are going to be seeing it on.
King of Monsters is a 9 out of 10 grade. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, Free also calls it a 9
terrible,
and Epic.
terrible.
So, wait, Greg, come on, 9 out of 10? Are you nuts?
King of the Monsters is not a 9 out of 10.
It was not by any stretch of the imagination.
I give Godzilla vs Mothra a 10 out of 10.
I haven't seen that one in a while, actually.
Especially when it's
Are you talking about the one from the 60s?
Yeah, when it's riffed on by Joe Hodges.
They didn't riff that one.
They didn't?
They didn't. No,
as a kid, I haven't seen it since I was a kid. As a kid, I loved it. I also loved what was it called? Gargantua green and Gargantua brown. War of the Gargantuans.
War of the Gargantuans.
Yeah.
I know my kaiju movies. Before we move on from this, I will go ahead and say one last thing. Like I know I kind of.
This is your second one last thing, but go ahead.
Second one last thing. Okay, God damn it, shut up.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, though.
I'm happy that they didn't just do one monster dirty. Like, I know that. Like, I knew deep down that Godzilla was going to win, but I have a very, very special place in my heart for King Kong because he is the monster that kind of got me into liking these kinds of movies. My mom actually was watching, I don't remember when, but the television was airing the 1976 King Kong, and she has a soft spot for
Jessica Lange.
She has a soft spot for that movie. It has its moments. I personally don't care for it, but I saw the climax of that movie and watched it with her. And right then and there, like, my love for giant monsters was born. And King Kong became an immediate favorite. And he has always had that one part where no one else can have it, if that makes sense. He will always be king in just that one area. We all love Godzilla. We all love those, like, we all love the big old debates on who could potentially take down the King of Monsters or whatnot, and why, Godzilla is just this overpowered being compared to Monkey Kong over here, but
Godzilla is a bit overpowered. You're correct.
He is definitely overpowered.
So what Travis is saying is he has a Kong fetish.
Oh, yeah. No, I do not.
Oh my God, I think you just did.
I mean,
yes, you did. You did say.
I think you did.
He has a lane fetish.
You did say that it was solidified that you loved Kong at the climax of a certain film. So, I mean, come on.
Front door.
I think that round goes to Sun. Okay, let's move on. Okay, we are moving on now to You Broke Travis, Only Lane Remains. Okay, next is our weekly review of the latest episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney+. Things started to hit the fan this week, literally. We got to see Baron Zemo for the first time in forever. Mm-hmm. What did we think? Let's start with the Eyebrows of Doom.
Zemo is an interesting character.
I kind of liked him. Didn't you kind of like him?
He's established as a credible threat, considering he with just a token of help from Buck, he was able to break out of prison on his own, which begs the question why he let himself stay in prison for so long when he could have broken out.
Deeper plans.
Plans within plans, all according to just as planned.
Plans within plans.
It's an interesting dynamic between the three of them. I'm curious to see where it goes from there. I liked how they leaned into the fact I'm a baron, I'm rich.
Yeah,
and how he's constantly guilting them about Sokovia.
And I love how they're not pulling out any stops.
Yeah.
They
And
really
when he
aren't.
finally
I mean,
donned his mask and got into the fight, he was nasty.
It's really been a pleasure to watch this ramp up, and the storytelling is really good right now on Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I'm liking it a lot better than I did WandaVision.
Me too.
I mean, I like WandaVision.
Well, WandaVision's strength was also a crutch, which was the whole sitcom thing.
Comedic.
The mystery that was neatly tied up at the end.
Yeah. Whereas this is going down a much more sort of realistic kind of path dramatically. It did. I mean, this episode for me did not feel like a superhero show at all. It felt like a spy thriller, which is good. I mean, as a spy thriller, it was pretty good. It was great to see what's her name again, Sharon.
Yeah. I was very happy to see Madripoor.
Yes,
Madripoor
me too.
was
High
badass.
Town and Low Town. I love that.
Madripoor is Singapore for all of our fans.
Yes.
Singapore, but even more
dirtier
seedy.
and more seedy.
Yeah. Even more so. And of course, it was featured. It was a big part of the Wolverine limited series back in the.
Yes, it was.
90s.
Well, and Spider-Woman had a lot of goings on in Madripoor. Having actually been to Singapore, I can tell you, it's nothing like that.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, I loved the setting, and who knew that a whole fight sequence set amongst cargo containers could be that interesting.
Movies have done it before.
Yeah, but I thought it worked really well.
I'll tell you, this is the episode
Iron
I've
Man
been waiting
3.
for.
Well, but that was a much bigger. It was more than just the cargo containers. It was like there was a lot of open.
I'd tell you the whole spy thriller thing is exactly what I've been waiting for them to kick off. And Baron Zemo is the excellent kind of Loki of everyone notices that Lane is creeping. Nobody's paying attention though.
Yeah, we're always ignoring Lane.
I'm paying attention because it's Lane.
But yeah, Zemo, Madripoor, Sharon, the fact that she's an illegal, a stolen art dealer now from top tier Shield agents.
Girls got to eat,
Well, yeah, the fact that she landed on her feet is awesome.
Yeah.
The fact that she landed into such a business, she's doing well, which is good.
It's true. I mean, she's living in Hightown, right?
That still begs the question: who killed the woman that they were going after, that they were talking to?
What do you mean they hurt your feelings?
I thought that was her. No, Lane, I still love you. He'll come back. Okay, yeah, I thought that was Sharon.
Are you blaming your fellow Hispanic for hurting Lane's feelings? Because I take credit for that.
Wait, you hurt Lane's feelings?
I guess so.
Well, she was covering them. They didn't want to kill her because that would have put the bounty on their heads.
Right, but this was before they knew she was there. Remember? She announced herself after the woman was shot. So that's why I thought it was Sharon who saved their butts, basically. She wasn't covering them. When they go into the cargo containers, all that, she was covering them there. I mean,
yeah, but she wouldn't. She was there trying to help them. So why would she help them if she's the one who put the bounty on their head?
I thought someone else did that.
Well, the fact that the woman was killed resulted in them getting the bounty placed on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Sharon didn't do that.
No, but if she killed the woman, I keep forgetting her name.
That
ended up getting framed on them.
Mhm.
That shot was off screen.
Right.
That's
why I
I don't
assumed
think
it
it was
was
Sharon.
I don't know. We'll take another look, I guess. But
I'm going to confess something right now.
yes.
I haven't been paying attention to a single word while I was off camera.
Oh, I figured you were just still recovering from, that thrashing.
Well,
Shelby,
he-
thank you,
he-
Greg. When Shelby was killed,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
that was
I-
absolutely very John Wick.
Do not get thrashed. That's that's part of my alias on other
That's right.
channels.
Travis Thrasher Lincoln.
Kind
I
of.
gotta put you in timeout for not paying attention.
What?
Oh well, fuck you.
I'm kidding.
Oh!
You were just kidding. I wouldn't have let him do that. Okay, so yeah, you're right. That may still be something of a mystery. Although I love the way that they showed the bounty being placed, like it showed up on people's phones with a Bitcoin.
Yeah, like
thing.
Greg said,
That was very John Wick.
Very
That was
John Wick.
Yeah.
Very John Wick.
You
Yeah, it
misspelled
was
it,
a
Greg. I'm
very
sorry.
enjoyable episode.
Oh,
Lane, you're going to punish Travis. He's being naughty today. You got to get on it.
Focus, Justin. Focus.
Yeah.
Yes,
Anyway,
let's focus on what we're actually supposed to be talking about. Okay, so other thoughts, things you didn't like, anything you didn't like about this episode?
Have we
Anyone?
talked
I
about?
liked it.
I had to step away for a moment, but did we talk about how this episode basically implied that Steve Rogers seriously fucked over Sharon?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, but I didn't know we haven't talked about it yet.
I
Yeah,
don't
Why
know
don't you
if
bring it up, Jason?
I don't know if I'd say he fucked her over. He was kind of on the run as well.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was.
was Sharon
And
in a
when
Civil
he
War?
came
Love in the
back-
sheets, not in the streets, boys.
And when he
Was,
came
um,
back,
Was
everyone
Sharon
got
in
dusted.
Winter Soldier or Civil War?
Winter Soldier, I think.
Winter Soldier.
It's
Yeah.
been a
No,
while
it
since
was
I've
Civil
seen
War
it.
because she stole the shield and she stole the shield and the wings for Falcon.
Yeah.
And that's what caused her to have to go underground. But still, what
What happened to the shield she stole?
That's what he was
Excuse me,
using.
Captain.
It's back with John Walker.
That's the one that Sam had.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the one
that's the
he had.
same
that's the
one.
one he
It's the
has
same
now.
one.
Well, that's the one that Cap had with him at the end of
Right.
Endgame. Where did that come from?
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark.
No, he got it somewhere else.
Tony-
Well, obviously Tony Stark made it, but
Well, no. At the end
No.
of Civil War, Steve left the shield with Tony, as he was
Yeah.
ranting him. That's not your shield. My father made it. You don't deserve it. So he left it there and walked away.
okay.
So and he
And,
kept it and gave it back to Steve in
Yeah, he
Endgame.
did in Endgame.
Right,
Infinity
except that
War,
except the Cap that we saw, Old Man Cap that we saw at the end of Endgame, when he left as young Cap to go back and put all the
He
Infinity
had the
Stones
shield
back,
with him.
He did not
did.
have the shield with him. He
Yeah, he
had
did.
He had Mjolnir. I checked this out just yesterday. He had Mjolnir with him, no shield.
But remember, also
Yeah.
the shield got trashed.
That was a different shield.
Maybe he had a new one made and brought it back with him.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it wasn't a no. Well,
I'm gonna
maybe
throw
we don't know where
Hodgson's
he
Law
got
at
it.
you.
Let's
There's
just go
only
back.
one source. There's only one source for him to have a new shield, and that's the Wakandans.
Let's just get back to
Unless
the fact
Doctor Strange opened the portal and stole one.
or
He
Steve stole
could do
one.
that.
Steve stole it.
But seriously, though, he totally screwed over Sharon. After the end of Civil War, he got all of his buddies off, and he didn't get Sharon off. After
Did he get
after
them?
Endgame,
Well,
Kinky!
Sharon was fine. She
run.
was out on her own.
They were on the
She-
run.
She was
Cap
on.
was
She was
on
on
the
the run,
run.
same as he was.
Yeah,
When
Wanda
he came
and
back
the Vision
in
were on the
Infinity
run.
War, he came back to fight Thanos, and then the blip happened.
So I don't think he necessarily screwed her over any more than he screwed himself over.
Random thought. I really do not care for them calling that the blip. Whenever I hear them call it the blip, I just have to say to myself blip. Just
Well, they can't really call
5
it
years. 5 years seems long. Well, it probably was. It was a blip to the people who were
That's
blipped.
what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But for the people who were around, 5 years is not a blip.
It really says something that it was named by the people who came back.
Yeah, it does.
Kind of led something to what
For
the
them, it would've
flag
been-
smashers
it would-
are saying. Who
yeah.
Well,
are
I think what's going to happen is this global agency that we see pop up is the actual villain of the longer story. But we have yet to see the full implications of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, and I hope they do something with this, with the whole idea that there's some profound societal effects
Change.
from this. You know, the people who were left behind, there's a lot of them sympathize with the technical, you know, people who are technically the villains of this show because it was so disruptive, and having them come back was disruptive.
Well, think
Oh,
about it.
I should point out, both things we're reviewing today started with very ominous and nefarious PSAs. Godzilla vs. Kong and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they both started with ominous sounding PSAs.
Yep.
Go ahead, Jose.
Well, I was gonna say, you know, when you think about it, like, if you were blipped, right? So you go away. You know, if it was me, you know, in 5 years, if I were to show up, my wife has probably moved on. My kid is now 15. Like, you know, she probably sold our house and went back to, you know, on the East Coast and took out my life insurance and all that. Now, I mean, what happens to that? Does she have
If
to
the insurance
pay
company's
that?
still around.
Yeah, I mean, you know, who knows? And then I just wake up, I just appear one day in this house, and who knows who lives here? And it could be anybody, and you know, who knows? Like it would be an amazingly like world shaking, disruptive event. You'd basically have.
It's like
You know-
Marty McFly breaking back into his own house, except it's not his house anymore.
But
Yeah.
but you'd
Freeze,
have
sucker.
like half of the world's population would almost be like refugees.
Half of the galaxy's universe's
Yeah.
population.
Yeah.
But we don't see the effects on other planets.
Yeah, we haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy yet.
Yeah, but it's a reminder that it's not just an Earth-centered thing. We're dealing with the Earth side of things, but it's
Right.
good to remember that this is a problem that that existence is dealing with.
Well, wouldn't this be a good setup for that?
Jason, you be nice.
Wouldn't this be a good setup for that big that Overlord group, the Eternals or whatever? It's because all this stuff is happening. All this stuff is happening on Earth after the people come back, and now you're talking about like this universal thing that's going. I mean, the same thing as
That is so irrelevant. What the hell?
Yeah, let's stay on task here, folks. Go ahead, son.
You basically have this same thing happening on a universal level. You would have to have some kind of like overlord guardian institution, like what is it, the Eternals or whatever, to have some kind of unifying force in there to say, hey, you know, we can help the entire universe.
I think that's kind of what the space side of Sword is doing.
Well, maybe, but really
With
just
Nick
on
Fury
Earth,
and the
right?
and the Skrull.
Oh wait, put Raina's thing back up there. If the shield was destroyed in Endgame, wouldn't that mean that hypothetically Howard Stark could have made a second shield and Cap went back in time? He comes forward in time with a new shield. Correct, and it could have been Howard Stark. It's possible, or he could have got it in Wakanda. I mean, the fact is we don't know, and
We don't know yet.
but we do know that it's a different.
We do
it's a
know that
different
Stark
shield.
had a prototype shield at one point that we saw. I think it's Iron Man 2 when he was doing the build scene. He was using
That was
it was
that was
still
a weird mock-up of the Captain America shield. It wasn't the actual shield. It had layers. It was all flimsy.
I gotta watch these movies again.
Yeah, I just
my
Watch
guess
party.
my guess would be still on the Wakandans who have the technology and the know-how to do it in modern day.
well, he would have had to have revealed himself to them.
He did.
Well, we don't know that for sure.
Well,
We don't know anything that he did other than the Infinity Stones went back to where they were supposed to go.
We do
Right.
know he fathered what's your name's babies, Carter's babies.
Do we know she had babies?
Yep.
How do we know that?
Wait a
She
minute.
had children.
Sharon?
No,
Wait,
not
that was an
Sharon.
aunt. She was a niece. Never mind.
Yeah, she was nice.
We got a
Yeah,
Skywalker vibe for a second there.
Yeah.
They didn't go full Luke and Leia there.
Yeah.
Missing something here.
Yeah, because
no one
remember
even mentioned climax.
in the original timeline, she got married to someone else.
Did she, or do you just
Yes.
let it believe
Yeah.
that she
Yes.
did?
No, she told him.
did.
She told him, or he was told.
He was
That's-
told that, but I mean, like that doesn't make you a reliable narrator. Like she's not gonna say, "Oh yeah, you come back in time and we hook up and have a family." She's not gonna tell him that. He has to decide that for his own, for himself.
Well, we haven't seen what that altered timeline looks like, other than him dancing with her at the end of Endgame.
Which was really sweet.
It was very sweet,
Yes,
and
it
I love
was.
that. And I love that song.
Yes,
Anyway, okay, so let's move on. Episode 4 comes up next week.
It's gonna be looks so awesome. I really liked that reveal at the end.
Yeah, it was
Oh
pretty
my
cool.
God.
It's kind of like- Have you noticed that
It's-
each of these episodes is very different in tone? You know, like
Yes.
this one was a very much sort of a spy thriller. The first one was, or second one rather, was.
And
what
they
happened to the second
ended with just a little bit epic each episode. Like
Mhm.
the first one, we got led into, Winter Soldier showing up. Second one, we got led into Zemo. This now we're going into Wakanda. I mean,
I'm
I know
telling
we're
you,
gonna do this next
Marvel
episode.
Studios is probably the best buy Disney has ever done.
So
Oh,
what
yeah,
you're
for
saying
sure.
is that the what's going on in Falcon and the Winter Soldier is kind of mirroring the style change that happened in WandaVision.
Yes, that
Not
is a very
quite
good
that
point.
stark, but yeah.
No, it's not that stark, if you'll pardon the expression. But the point is that they are adopting a very sort of different sort of aesthetic theme episode by episode, and it's not as blatant as we saw in WandaVision, but they are still doing it, and I think that's a good observation, son.
I do like that team because that.
And I haven't watched any of the episodes of either yet, so there you go.
I
You
really
need to-
like that they're not afraid to pull from all the different aspects of the MCU. And we're getting so many little bits here and there, but we've got the new Cap, we've got
Moon Knight. It's coming. I can't wait.
Well, we know it's
with
coming.
all
you
the
just don't know
reveals
where.
that have arrived. I did not expect to see a Wakandan Royal Guard show up.
That was a
Yeah.
cool. And he looked pissed.
Well, of course,
They all look
the
pissed.
assassin of the former king is loose, and the White Wolf probably let him go. Of course, they're going to be pissed.
Yeah,
Right.
no, it was great. I love that expression on her face. It should be an interesting episode. Okay, so far it sounds like we're all still, loving Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think they're doing a good job.
And another show that started this week was New Mighty Ducks show on Disney Plus. If anybody gets care,
I have
really-
not watched it. I care because it has Lauren
care as
Graham in
well.
it, and I love
It's
her.
actually not too bad.
But
Looks fun.
the reviews that I've read have been pretty good.
It's
It looks
actually really
fun.
not
It
bad.
looks fun.
Emilio
not bad.
Estevez said he only came back because he's stayed away from other Mighty Ducks sequels. He came back for this one because he really liked the story they came up with. So
Can I just go here?
go.
Why do they have to keep just destroying our childhood heroes and our childhood
Because
did it
it's
with Luke.
proven commodities. It's proven
Holy
commodities.
shit.
Jason.
I'm
knew it.
starting to get pissed because they did it with Luke, right? And I get it, but there's no reason for Gordon Bombay, who was an attorney, who was a successful attorney before he went back into hockey, would become this miserly old shell of his former self running an ice skating rink. No, but it's like we're just gonna make all of your childhood heroes, the people who you saw do good and we're just gonna fuck them when we show them when they're old.
Because that's life.
The point, though, is that despite the fact that that does happen in real life, there are ways in which you can tell a good
Redeem
story
yourself.
about how you how you
Redeem yourself. Yeah.
yeah, you redeem yourself. You are able to find again that sense of optimism and hope.
But
Whatever.
here's the thing with Gordon Bombay. He's already redeemed himself like
Right.
3 times.
Right, they've already done like it's like we're just gonna shove out the window. We're gonna bring the character back for nostalgia's sake, but we're gonna throw away all of the character development that happened before.
I mean, they threw out.
Is that really what the Mighty Ducks are known for, though? Really, character development, really?
Yeah.
More than cool running.
I can't argue with that, son.
I don't have a clue what you guys are talking about.
Cool running. We're talking about Disney movies, dude.
I have not seen the Mighty Ducks in decades.
There's
Nor
a
have
new
I.
series on Disney Plus.
I
They have a new series.
have no interest in seeing it.
Which is getting good reviews, so I'm going to check it out.
No, it's,
You know
it's a
what
good
I-
show. I'm getting bitter about. I'm starting to get bitter about this whole like we're going to just shit on legacy characters because it makes for a good story.
I think we should have Raina on the show because
She has
Raina
actually,
makes-
she's expressed interest in potentially,
I
joining
think
in one day.
she's made some
Absolutely.
excellent points. Raina, we're going to give you a call, okay?
Well, there you have it.
Have your
I hope
people
you're
call
able to
our
stay
And she
people.
calls
until,
it
like,
right here.
2 or
You
3 in
don't
the
have to
morning.
do it. You don't have to do it to tell a good story. Cobra Kai.
No,
proves-
I agree with you. You don't have to do it. But if you do it, it doesn't necessarily mean that your childhood is being shat on.
I mean, people do change.
Unless you're
People have
into that.
highs, people have lows.
Like Steve Shive,
And a lot of people turn into sons of bitches the older they get. That's just reality, man.
Steve
That's reality.
Shive's,
Speak for yourself, Carlos.
Hey, I battle this every day.
Steve Shive's touched base a bit on this recently when he did a video on fans and their like why they hate new Star Trek, which is actually a very really well put together video. I recommend it if you haven't seen it. He did mention that there was a lot of disdain by some fans to how Picard was portrayed in the recent season of Star Trek Picard.
Mhm.
And like I get that some people really don't want to see like characters that they've grown up with seen develop fall from grace or become people that they don't picture them becoming. But like as some of you have been saying, like people do like they that can happen, and I hope I'm not being loud. I think I
Roommate
accidentally
moment.
awoke my roommate.
Sorry, roommate.
Sorry,
It
roommate.
was all that Godzilla yelling.
Yes, it was all the Godzilla yelling, I'm sure. He like touched base that a lot of the like, and I hope does not come across as like a dig at anybody. But he did mention that like it feels like a lot of the time when people will like make this kind of criticism, it is more or less because it's a story that they themselves didn't see happening or want to happen. And I'm not saying that this is what anybody who says, oh, this person would never act this way or whatnot is thinking of.
I wouldn't.
like, go ahead.
I wouldn't care so much if it wasn't just a like. It's almost becoming very tropish.
I can see
We're
that.
gonna wheel out the legacy character and shit on them and make them like, the despondent. I mean, they did it with Luke, and again, like, I get it. I had a different vision of Luke's future because I followed the EU very heavily for a while, and so it wasn't Ben. It was, twins, and Luke was successfully
Jason,
rebuilding.
Jaina.
Yeah, I mean,
There was still a Ben. Well, he was a Ben Skywalker.
yeah.
It was a Skywalker.
Yeah.
But I mean, so I get that perspective, but if it was just Luke, that'd be one thing. But it doesn't really seem to be Luke. It just seems to be a trend of we're going to pull out these old characters, and even with like Picard, he still fared better in Picard than he did in the fast forward future of All Good Things, right? So you can't even criticize too much there because he was still a better representation of Picard than what we thought it would be based on All Good Things. But Mighty Ducks.
Well, it's a valid. I think it's a valid perspective.
Yeah.
I just don't think that, and maybe it is overdone, but I think the idea is when you do bring back legacy characters or legacy show or update a show or whatever, you need to show that some things have changed. That's the essence of drama. And maybe they aren't making the best choices, but the reality is, and sorry, I'm going to sound like an old man here, but like when I go into Facebook and I read some of the pages from friends of mine from high school, people I knew from high school, and they are sometimes, especially the ones who are now like fervent Trump believers, I'm like, how can I even know you? How can we have grown up in the same place and you're spouting the things I'm hearing you spout? And that happens. People that you liked, loved, admired turn out to be very not admirable later in life. And
like Steve,
not all of them, but it happens, and it's altogether too common enough for it to be realistic to portray it in movies and television. So there, I just shat on your future.
Another, I guess,
Sorry.
another thing I personally will go ahead and bring to the table just a bit on this topic is that I feel like a lot of people, particularly when it comes to Luke in this regard, like sometimes it just feels like people want the people that they like, the characters that they grew up with. When we see them again, how many years later, it feels like sometimes people want them to be next to perfect, which just isn't very interesting. Like one of the YouTube channels that every now and then will be brought up in our chat was actually brought up last night. It's this channel called How It Should Have Ended, and this is a channel I used to really like, but have kind of grown distant from because it turned like the charm just quickly went away. And I cannot stand some of their Star Wars videos because like it just feels like they are mirroring like some of the like just shallow takes. Like they wanted Luke Skywalker to be this all-powerful guy who is just, deflecting laser bolts from AT-ATs, like this badass that they wanted him to be. And like I get where some of the sentiment comes from. I get it. But as stupid as this is going to sound, I do like being a writer myself, I do believe that like if someone believes they have a good story, they should be able to tell that. And if a character needs to take a few bullets or, get taken down a few pegs, if they can make it work, do it.
Well, I mean, again, I think like with Luke is a good example because he's someone who really started off as a whiny baby, right? And but by the end of Return of the Jedi, you see that he has developed confidence, he's developed skill, he's developed control, he's developed emotional control, and he's just an all-around badass. And then to take that, and then the next time we see him, he's kind of like this whiny shell again, right? I get it. People change, people over time, and understand though, Travis, is that if you're a hardcore Star Wars fan, there were no movies. There was the Zahn series of books. There was the Truce of Bakura. There was this ever expanding universe of novels in which if you followed along, you followed along Luke's journey through these novels, and understand that at the time, Lucasfilms was all about these are canon, right? I mean, it would, this isn't like I read a Star Trek novel and I want them to incorporate what I saw in the Star Trek novel. It's I was told by George Lucas himself that this is how it plays out. So even though I wasn't getting new Star Wars films, I could at least follow along with the story of Luke and how he helped restore the Republic, and found a new Jedi Order. Then we headed to 2012. Disney buys Lucasfilms. The EU immediately becomes Legends, and when we see Luke back on screen, it isn't this confident, wise sage who helped restore order to the galaxy. It was someone who was defeated by his emo teen nephew and ran away like a little bitch. And
he was defeated by his own sheer fucking hubris.
Right. And so yes, I mean, I get it. Like, it was. I'm of mixed minds when it comes down to the last Jedi. One, I think it is an incredible film. It tells a great story, but I think it takes a tremendous shit on someone who, as a kid, was a childhood hero.
I get that sentiment.
Yeah, but the story of Luke in Last Jedi is more of a person who found out that what they believed in all their lives was a lie. It was a lie, and it held no truth. And his problem, she says it.
Yeah.
But that's my reaction to people when they tell me that their expectations were jostled by Last Jedi. That happens with a lot of people. That's just real. That's just
You're
reality.
just resonating with everybody up here. It's like you've been watching this whole time, and you know how we all think. It's really quite frightening.
Well, as much as we talk about how Luke's portrayal in Last Jedi rubbed so many people the wrong way, no one talks about his journey and his development in that film. He starts as that despondent old man who is defeated and hiding away and wanting the Jedi to die. But by the end of it, he overcame his fear. He overcame his anxiety and embraced himself as a Jedi to give Rey the chance to build the Jedi on her own, to have a fresh start, a completely fresh start without the preconceptions and foibles that Luke was exposed to through Obi-Wan
and Yoda.
And Yoda. But it was a wonderful journey and a wonderful conclusion to Luke. At least that's what I think.
I think both good points. I totally get where you're coming from, Jason. But at the same time, and I'm not standing up necessarily for some of the creative choices made in the final trilogy of Star Wars movies, because some of them just, I don't think were wise. But the reality is, though, that for him to have remained the same confident rebuilder of the Republic would not have started off. It wouldn't have made for a very dramatic foundation for the last three movies. Did they do everything right, having made the decision they did make? No, they didn't do everything right, but I'm not surprised they made the choice that they did, because again, people get old, and what was once confidence can easily turn into bitterness and despair. It just happens.
Look, all this talk about Star Wars and the Mighty Ducks and all this shit. You know what I'd like? I'd just like a live-action reboot of Atlantis. Thank you.
Yes.
Stargate Atlantis?
No. Atlantis. Disney's Atlantis.
Oh, Disney's Atlantis with Milo. That was right.
Yes.
Milo was that? Yeah.
All right, well, you should have got that reference first time around.
Sorry, I was just because you've been talking about Stargate recently, so that's why my mind.
I haven't even started watching Stargate Atlantis, so.
I know, but you had been watching catching up on Stargate stuff.
I
So
will say
that's
that
why my
Star
mind
Wars
went
talk is
there.
a good segue into our Star Wars subjects.
Indeed, and we have a bunch of them. So the first one, top of the thanks, Travis.
You're welcome.
Top of the list for our Star Wars news was the release this week of the trailer for Star Wars Bad Batch. And I'm going to start off, since you segued us so naturally there, Travis, and you are our resident Clone Wars expert. What did you think of the trailer and the news that we're going to get a 70-minute long premiere episode when it comes to Disney Plus?
70 fucking minutes. May 4th cannot get here fast enough.
Wait,
Look,
70 minutes?
yes,
70
70
minutes,
minutes. Look, it may seem like a long time, but these people earned it. Like, the Clone Wars, how they wrapped it up. Like, look, I was worshiping the Clone Wars as a show before this final season last year, and like I'm still like I haven't really watched too much Rebels yet in the recent days, but like even that is going great. Like, these people know how to really flesh out this universe, and the fact that the Bad Batch of all things are getting their own show, and that they are getting a 7-minute, like, well done, guys. These guys earned it. I cannot wait for it.
I'm actually all for 70-minute premiere
right now.
I'm actually all for 70-minute premiere. I mean, after Justice League's 4-hour movie, 70 minutes ain't nothing.
It's
It's
a
like
drop
walking
in
in
the
the park.
bucket.
Yeah.
Drop in the bucket.
And from what I've seen in the trailer, it looks really exciting, and it almost looks like the same type of animation you're going with for Star Trek Prodigy, which is coming out later on this year.
Well,
Yeah,
it's more like a continuation of the Clone Wars animations.
Yeah, I was about to say that this is not a change in style at all. So
I don't know. It looks really good.
and
We have no idea what the animation of Prodigy is going to look like yet.
No, I mean, like,
Yeah,
that
we've only
still
seen the
image,
character
so-
design, but
In a still image.
yeah.
Wait, so we discussed this earlier. I don't remember if it was speculation or if it was confirmed, but doesn't the Bad Batch take place after Order 66?
Yes,
Yes.
it does.
Yes.
Okay. So, wouldn't that mean that it's possible that the Bad Batch goes into the backstory of the fall of the further fall of Mandalore?
I mean, it's possible. They might.
It's
go
possible.
That route,
It depends.
but,
Depends on
It
what
could
they're.
go before or after Fall of Mandalore. Depends on where exactly they decide to place it after
This
66.
looks more like the rise of the Empire.
yeah, this is. They haven't discussed too much plot details in terms of where this show will go, but like, this trailer did reveal that the Empire definitely has an interest in this very unique team of clone troopers, but also
Tarkin.
it is also
So much
revealed that
Tarkin.
they will. It is revealed that they want them gone, and so it is like, for all we know, this team may, like, they may just become. Oh, did I lose? There I am.
Yeah, you're
They may eventually give some aid to the rebels potentially, but they may also just be some mercenaries for hire. I mean, I'm
Ooh,
really
what
curious
if
where
they did a crossover with Rebel?
I think it's a little too early for rebels. I think,
But they could.
I think
We might
it's too
see
early.
character from Rebels in it, but we are getting Ming-Na Wen's character from The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what her character name is.
Oh,
I
God.
forget. I know
The
you.
sniper lady? Yeah.
So
Cara
glad
Dune?
she's getting so much screen time.
Dude, no, it's not Cara Dune, is it?
That was
No.
Gina Carano's character. Didn't they call her like something the witch or something?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It's been a while.
Oh my God. Darling.
My encyclopedic knowledge of the Clone Wars pales in comparison to Star Trek. I'm sorry, I failed you all.
It's allowed, Travis. It's allowed. You only got room for
Fennec-
one.
I just-
Fennec
I just-
Shand
yeah.
is her name.
Yes, that's it.
I'm thinking about this Bad Batch thing, and the only thing that's going through my mind is because of the association that has happened with Ahsoka and all that stuff, is that you wind up having the Bad Batch on Mandalore trying to fight off the Empire as they're like scorch earthing Mandalore.
Possible.
It's possible. I mean, I feel like
Anything's
it's a
possible.
big galaxy. I'd prefer to see them elsewhere, but that's just me.
It didn't have a Skywalker drop in.
Well, from the look of this
Yeah,
trailer,
right.
the adventure seems to be entirely their own.
Yeah.
The Bad Batch escapes from the Empire when they decide that they're more trouble than they're worth. They befriend a small child who's big fans of them, and they go on different adventures running from the Empire.
Yeah, I think that seems to make more sense. But we will see on May 4th, right?
Yes.
May 4th.
And
Be with you.
Isn't the May 4th also First Contact Day?
No.
No.
April
April
5th
4th.
is first
April
contact
5th.
day.
Yeah. April 5th.
Coming up on that later.
That's next week. And yes, that's coming up next. Okay, let's move on to our next Star Wars television story. And that was the reveal of the main cast of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. And it's setting in 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. So does this make you more excited for this show, less excited, or are you standing pat for now?
I mean, holy shit. The cast that's going to be on this show. I mean, they got Hayden Christensen to come back. I think
was really smart, to tell you the truth.
I thought he was pretty much done with Star Wars.
He was. That's the point.
Well, so is Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
We're
We're talking Disney, and they have plenty of money to pay.
I need to know more. Like, I am very curious about Obi-Wan Kenobi because Kenobi is one of the more classic characters of Star Wars. He's a personal favorite Jedi of mine. I will watch this series, but I am curious of what exactly they're going to do with it. Is Kenobi going to be stuck on Tatooine, or is he going to be going off-world and doing
Well, the
something
cast announcement was so interesting that way because we know we're going to be seeing Luke's aunt and uncle again. So certainly a significant part of it will still be on Tatooine, but how interesting can that be? I mean, that's, I guess, it's a dusty little planet, man.
So here's an interesting thing I
bunch of
noticed.
sand?
You guys are talking about Hayden Christensen coming back. It literally says he's coming back as Darth Vader and not Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 10 years
So
after.
we're not getting James Earl Jones being the voice of Vader.
No.
James Earl Jones is pretty
What?
done.
You think so?
I mean, anybody with a voice changer be Darth Vader. Hell, I
Well,
can be
here's-
Darth
No,
here's
as
the
Vader.
thing.
long as James Earl Jones is breathing, he should be the only person to voice the Dark Lord of the Sith.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Now, here's the thing. In right after Disney bought Star Wars, Marvel released a whole bunch of lines of comics. And in one of the arcs of the mainline Star Wars series, there was a series of flashbacks of Obi-Wan on Tatooine looking after Luke. And you've seen what Luke is like as an adult. Imagine what a handful he could have been as an adolescent, as a teenager,
As a
actually in his
whiny
T-16
teenager.
shooting up womp rats.
Yes.
And
Oh, one thing
Obi-Wan
that-
always in the background, kind of nudging him in certain directions, dropping little things off to help him along here and there, and just being a force in the background to see that Luke is on a correct path and counteracting some of the more conservative aspects of Uncle Owen's stewardship.
Not necessarily just in the background. I mean, in A New Hope, it is very much shown that he and Obi-Wan know one another.
Yeah.
Yes, but he described him as a strange old hermit who lives beyond the Dune Sea. He doesn't know him well. He isn't an active part of Luke's life.
Still be cute. I do hope that they show, like, I think it might be actually really kind of cool to see them meet for the first time, you know? That
Maybe.
actually might be very fun to explore.
You mean like having Spock meet Kirk for the first time on These Are the...
Don't do it. Don't say it. Don't.
Use the words.
No.
Use the words.
I can't. My roommate's asleep.
These are the voyages?
Not your words. Travis's words.
My roommate's asleep.
You don't have to yell them at the top of your lungs.
But but you guys, you need the grit in the voice.
We don't.
But Obi-Wan got into all sorts of adventures. In order to earn a living, he took some time as a convoy escort. He ran afoul of a couple bounty hunters, including a Wookiee that he took Obi-Wan took the guy's eye. He fought a couple. He fought at least one crate dragon.
Great dragons.
Who doesn't these days?
I have a feeling
he
that
got
Raina
into some
is going
serious
to be
shit on
quite
Tatooine.
the Star Wars buff here if she joins us. I feel like Raina, are you like a super fan of Star Wars? Answer honestly.
It sounds like she is.
I know that she does not like the newest 3 movies,
Oh.
but
Who does?
They're hard to like.
There are things
like-
to like, but
there were things.
Well,
to
I like Last Jedi more than I like the other two because at least they tried.
Yeah,
They
I
tried
like
to do
that.
something.
Yes.
I like the...
You
I
don't
like
have to
the-
be a legacy to be powerful in the Force.
I like the emotional payoff of Rey confronting Palpatine at the end.
I like the last fight scene with Palpatine. I'm sorry.
You know,
I know it's very unpopular opinion, but I liked it.
well,
No, I
the
love-
fight scene's okay. I just had a problem with it being Palpatine.
No, I
Again.
loved it being Palpatine. He's like,
No, I like it being Palpatine.
That's it.
This not this.
And she's like, and
Wow,
am
you
all
are
the Jedi.
Fasay. You are a great Sith Lord.
No.
Well, he may be a great.
Of course he is. He's full of
mas-
hate, rage, and
master.
self-loathing.
So I feel like I need to point this out, Ross. You have it a little bit backwards. See, Luke knew Ben, like to the point that when R2D, I literally just looked this up because when C-3PO is talking about how futzed R2D2 is talking about an Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's Luke that suggests, oh, Ben Kenobi.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when Luke is actually casually talking to him about to Uncle Owen, it's Uncle Owen that dissuades him from going to see Ben.
Well, they were definitely familiar. They definitely knew each other. They definitely, I think, Luke, Luke, he wasn't like Luke's Doc Brown or anything, but I think he knew who he was, and I think that when like he had to like talk about him, he was just kind of being like, yeah, like that old hermit out there.
It'll be interesting to see how much they retcon that, though, because it's very typical, for prequel series and things to end up, elaborating more on these relationships that look like they weren't that close in the original, but end up being much closer in the retcon version. So
But I told
I
you it's
wouldn't be
true
surprised.
From a certain point of view.
Okay, well, we're going to move on to the Star Trek portion of our show this week. And Justin already spoiled this a little bit, but next week, of course, is First Contact Day on April 5th, right? And it turns out that Star Trek, Paramount Plus, etc., are planning a bunch of special events. There's a Picard panel, there's a costume panel, several other panels. And they've been teasing some other Trek updates. Like among the things we've heard is a potential release date for Strange New Worlds.
I'm so excited for that.
And maybe some footage from at least Prodigy, which is coming up soon. Maybe, hopefully, some more information about what the show is actually going to be about and like, and what Janeway's role in it is going to be. All
There's
these
supposed
things
to be maybe a trailer too for Prodigy from
maybe. I hope so. But that's coming up. So
Lower Decks trailer, please.
I think I did hear that they might have that, or at least some footage from it. Which we know your feelings for Lower Decks.
You're special.
They are precious.
Just
really.
as long as Travis gets an invite this year, because I think it will break Elaine's little heart if you don't get an invite to the premiere. Whoever does the premieres at CBS, make sure you get all of us, and not just Travis. Thank you.
I'm
or
fine.
Sean.
If it's just, I'm fine if it's just Travis. Actually, it was Casey was the one who saw it early.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so yes, I love that First Contact Day has become like a thing now.
Yeah.
And of course, we saw it in Picard. That was the date of the attack on Mars, which of course I guess sullies First Contact Day from that point forward.
Hey,
but
it ain't gonna stop us.
They never really, celebrate every year. So, I guess.
Yeah, they do. What makes you think they don't?
No, I mean.
Well, in universe, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, in real life, it wasn't a big deal until relatively recently.
Yeah.
Let's be honest with ourselves. Even if there is like a Solon, like even if First Contact Day's like meaning has been changed just a bit due to the Mars attack, we're still gonna go out and get a salmon. Ross get it. Ross got it.
I was about to bring it up. You beat me to it.
Carved us up like a First Contact Day salmon.
That's a dolphin.
Wow.
That's a dolphin.
Dolphin.
Again, I guess like dolphin.
What?
I don't know.
Ops.
Does salmon even make noise?
No, they don't.
I think
No, but
really
dolphins
now.
will eat salmon.
Well, when they seed their eggs, it's kind of a
that's a salmon gasm.
that Futurama?
No, that's from a nature documentary I watched when I was like 8 years old.
Well, and it stuck with him.
It did stick with me.
Oh boy.
Just like those clumps of eggs.
Good night, everybody.
Indeed. I love that First Contact Day happened exactly 100 years after I was born, and in the state where I went to college. But not.
So that makes you how old?
Oh, college in Montana.
Makes him ancient.
Montana. I went.
I mean,
going Missoula.
Before too
was
long,
that
it'll be
Jesus?
about Palpatine.
Thank you, Justin.
There's
You're
another
welcome.
thing to be. I guess there's another thing to be excited about for First Contact Day.
Yes.
We'll get to finally see our old friend put out a little film.
Oh, yes, that's right.
We'll have
That's
talk about
right.
next week, won't we?
So wait, Sean's putting out a new fan film?
Not Sean. Jonathan Lane's Axanar fan film is due
No, not
to
you.
finally be released next week.
He announced it on April
on
Fool's
Monday.
Day, so let's just take that with a grain of salt.
Well, I don't. I think
I don't think
Okay.
it's something that Jonathan would joke about because his
wants to be done with it. But
his very soul is tied up in that film. So
Yeah, it
anyway, so that's Monday. Monday it is released.
finally an Axanar that got done that did not sue anybody or cost anybody double in shipping.
Indeed. My only
It cost
beef
the
with it
people
really,
for a big green screen now.
Well,
it did cost them for that, yes. The only issue I've really had with Jonathan's movie is that it's based on a comic that it was released 2 years ago. It's like there's no surprises in it. Like, we know the story, we know the characters, we know what happens.
You know, there's a bunch of fan service for the undiscovered country.
Yeah. So it would have been cooler if it was actually a story that was a surprise for us to know about, but that's just me. Anyway, so we'll see on Monday. Y'all get to we'll give it a little review thing on next week's show if y'all are interested in that.
Better than the Space 1999 trailer.
Oh, that was awful. Okay. Okay, let's move on to our next Star Trek story, and this is the finale to our ongoing coverage of none other than Travis's list of top 30 Star Trek female protagonists. The countdown reached number 1 this
Okay,
week.
Greg, now you can trigger.
Yeah,
trigger,
Greg.
You got it done too early in the show this week.
So,
Not even here anymore.
wasn't this predictable? Honestly,
Yeah.
No, not necessarily. There are many people, and boy, let me tell you, Travis has heard from them who thought
let's hear it from Travis.
I'm so
well, he
happy
can talk
this-
about that, but I'm just teeing this up, which is the top 4. Kira Nerys, of course, ended up at the number 1 slot. Number 2 was Catherine Janeway. Number 3 was Beckett Mariner from Lower Decks, and number 4 was 7 of 9. So, Travis, take it away. How do you feel about the reactions you got from those top 4 choices?
I am so happy that this countdown is over. You have no idea. like most people were pretty chill with Janeway and Kira. Some said that, you know, Janeway is number 1 in their hearts, and you know what? All the more power to them. I'm not gonna say like, oh, you're wrong. There's legitimate arguments to be made for Janeway, and Janeway and Kira. I've talked about them with the top 30 protagonists last year, and you know, I dug into them and what makes them great. And so here, I very much was just more kind of from the heart, if that makes sense. I didn't really focus on what they did in the series, more like what they represented, what they made possible with their presence and whatnot. And I had a lot to say about Janeway in that regard, in that, especially with Prodigy, Janeway coming back for Prodigy, she very much is an ambassador for a very young generation of future Trekkies. I mentioned before how Janeway was very much my first Star Trek captain, and very much an introduction for me into the Star Trek universe. And while we all like to give Voyager a little bit of tough love here and there, there is always going
That's
to be
not what Fasse calls it.
There's always going to be, just that small part of me that will always treasure Voyager for just being that stepping stone. And the fact that Janeway is about to be that, bridge into the Star Trek universe, I felt was just so very fitting in so many ways. And I mean, and the fact that, and if it's for this reason and more that people will hold her to that number 1 spot, and I'm all for it. There's always going to it's always a big I always end up switching all these ranks when I do these things. I have a hard time with the top spots a lot of the time, and there was always going to
how many times did you flip back and forth between Catherine Janeway and Kira Nerys being 1 and 2?
I did not switch those 2 this time.
Those
around.
you were sure. You were sure.
Yeah,
about
they were. I was sure. Mainly because, it's not just DS9 bias. I promise. It was very much I looked at Kira Nerys, and it was just a matter of me realizing I very much see her in a way that without Kira we would not have Janeway. Kira is the first protagonist to be written well, as a woman. like I felt that might have been a terrible way of saying that.
No, I think
She was
I think you're right. I think in a lot of ways, Kira was the best written woman. Janeway, you know, often for me felt like she fell into a lot of like female leader cliches or female like mama bear or what all the different boss bitch and that kind of stuff. All those things that you think of like that are kind of annoying stereotypes of women in charge. Janeway embodied, wherein Kira was just a very strong character in and of herself who happened to be female.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One of the best characters written. Period. I would
Yeah.
go as far as to say that.
Well, I mean, she was number 3 on my top 30 protagonists last year. She was
Overall,
my
yeah.
third pick. So
One of the things I found most persuasive in your response to a lot of the comments, Travis, was in looking at the difference between Janeway and Kira. And I think this point that you made, I thought was spot on, which is if you look at Kira over the 7 seasons of that show, from where she began to where she ended up, there was a journey there. It's a long one. It took a lot of twists and turns, and she's a very different person at the end of season 7 than she was at season 1. And that's what you want to see in terms of the development of a character on television over the course of 7 years. And Janeway, while I love her, is not so different at the end than she was at the beginning. Indeed, I mean, yes, she has had some changes. She overcame some challenges, but you don't see the wholesale kind of life change like you see in Kira. And for that reason alone, I think from a dramatic perspective, you made, I think, the right choice.
And the only other thing, like, I can really say in terms of these last few choices that a lot of, like, I'm going to go on the record here and I'm going to stand by my decision to rank Mariner as high as I did. I had a lot of people like, number 3? Really? Like,
you have a really long discussion of this in the thread, which I encourage people to read because you actually make your case pretty well in there.
And like, call it a gut feeling if you want. Like, I believe that Mariner, even if she isn't there right now in a lot of people's minds, I believe she will eventually get there for some people, because just like the feeling that I got from her, like when we first see her in Second Contact, again, she really didn't make much of an impression, and it wasn't until like we keep going through the series where I was starting to realize, like, oh, there's more to this character than we are giving credit for. And in those final episodes where she just blew my mind just completely out of the water in just subtle ways of exposing the flaws of the Prime Directive and trying to make a difference for the best, even if it goes against protocol. Like, there's a full story here that I am so interested in seeing. And, like, I do not believe that just quantity, like, is enough to keep her from this kind of placement in my mind. One of the people who actually saw this placement said, something along the lines of her being a cartoon, she has no business being in the top 5. And I feel like
they're wrong, basically.
Yes.
We need to move on.
Cast, with the exception of Chekhov, was a cartoon at some point.
What that is supposed to mean. Okay.
That's Year of Hell Part 2.
Oh, okay. I don't see the point though. Anyway, okay, so we need to move on because we're running out of time. So Travis, again, thank you for putting that list together and sharing your thoughts and reactions to other people's reactions. about the list. I know it was a lot of work, and
This one took a lot out of me. I'm taking a
yeah.
much needed break before I do anything else like this again.
Indeed. Well, no, I mean you did it to recognize International Women's Month, which I think was cool to do, and yeah. So I'm looking forward to whenever it is you decide to do your next big list countdown. I'm sure it'll be a good one as well. Okay, we're going to move on and talk about superheroes for most of the rest of our show tonight. So, a couple quick news items. We've learned this week, today, I think, that Warner Brothers has canceled the New Gods project, as well as the Aquaman spinoff that was planned.
Oh,
Yeah. Personally, I was never that big of a New Gods fan, so I don't feel that much of a loss. But and as far as the Aquaman spinoff, I'd rather they spend their money on like actual DC characters that are important instead of like fish people that we saw, in a few scenes in the Aquaman movie. How did the rest of you take this news? Ross, I know you're a New Gods fan, right?
I'm disappointed. I really like that kind of mystic, deific, if that's the word, side of DC. I think that's one of the things that makes the universe unique is their take on deities and godlike entities and demigods, and how integral it is to the like how.
And it was Jack Kirby's creation. Let's not mince words. The New Gods. What's important about the New Gods and what you're going to see coming out in the Eternals is you're going to see people who are in control of their facilities and have been so for thousands of years. And that's a different sort of character to play on screen than a guy who found out he had superpowers because a spider bit him. No offense to Spider-Man, but it's true. It's a different sort of.
And to be the contrarian, I think that largely the portrayals of those kinds of characters, the ones that have been around for thousands of years, end up not being very compelling to me because, when you look at what they're doing, how they're behaving, it's like they're not acting really like they're just as impulsive as a 20-year-old human.
But you're pretty impulsive, and you're near 1,000 at least.
Which is my point exactly. It's like to make them relatable, you've got to impose the same kind of human foibles on them, which kind of takes away from the whole they've been around for thousands of years kind of thing. And so it's hard. That's why I've never really gotten into them that much.
Justin, throw Raina's comment up if you're here.
Which one?
It's a comment,
yes.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
Absolutely agree with this statement.
I'd rather see an Icon movie.
Static Shock is an icon, god damn it.
No. Static Shock comes from the same breeding ground as Icon did. Icon was a Superman character who basically landed in a slave pen in the Deep South and was raised by former released slaves. So it was a much more fascinating book than anybody has given it credit for in the modern spin of things. Anyway, go on.
I have no idea who. I don't know who Icon is. I thought you were talking about I want an icon.
No.
You thought you meant iconic, but
yes.
Static Shock is great. I like the character. He's kind of like a Kid Flash mixed up with electricity powers of Black Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of fun. He's a fun character.
I really
very much like the feeling of Spider-Man for Marvel.
I am
you want your Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond, Static Shock. Those were two of the best cartoons growing up. I swear. Those cartoons are bad. I mean, Static Shock was kind of a little cheesy from time to time, but even that show,
I just feel like Batman should always have a cape.
Choking on my own spit here.
Raina, I can't wait to argue with you in live. So
when we have time.
Yes, I totally agree with you, Raina. She's on the show.
I don't.
She's on the show.
You're hired immediately. You're hired. You're hired.
You know what we really need for a superhero movie? We need a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air movie that is from the perspective of the dad, the adopted dad that Will Smith goes to stay with, because he's like a lawyer dealing with all of this stuff and being black and having to deal with Will coming to terms with Black America and stuff like that.
Oh, geez,
that would be interesting.
I mean, like potent episode there.
Well, as much as on the flip side, then we get characters who stay young and stay. There's a ceiling to growth that the creators don't let them go any farther, and they just stay. Like Spider-Man is as an example. They keep defaulting him back to the poor superhero who barely makes his rent when he's smart enough and intelligent enough to be the next Tony Stark. He should be the next Tony Stark, but they keep resetting him back to friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
It's like how we always hate that Samus Aran loses all of her powers at the start of every game.
Yeah, kind of like that.
No, I think you make a good point, Ross, and I think that's why it's interesting that you're seeing DC right now. They're doing a whole their future state thing is it's not really a reboot, but it is a big step forward in that they are actually setting aside the heroes we know for a new generation of heroes, their children or spiritual heirs in some cases, that are moving the character forward in ways that the original could no longer, for exactly I think some of the reasons that you're talking about.
That's one of the things that kills me about Marvel, because they did that too in the all new, all different segment. They retired some heroes. Mm-hmm. They introduced new ones. X-23 became the new Wolverine. Mm-hmm. Captain Steve Rogers became Old Man Cap, and Falcon became Captain America. Jane Foster became Thor. Mm-hmm. And then what happened? Reset.
Yep. Yeah, I keep thinking DC is going to end up doing the same thing, but we'll see. I mean, hopefully they don't. I think it was a gutsy move. I hope it pays off for them. I hope people
let characters age, let new characters take up the reins, let old characters die. You can still tell stories in the old times if you like, but let the story move, let characters grow. Novelists do this all the time. Why can't comics?
So let's move to a comic that I think does do that. That has just been adapted as an animated series on Amazon Prime, and that is Invincible, which is based on a series of graphic novels that came out in the early
90s.
It was in the aughts, I believe. I'm pretty sure it was after 2000. At least that's when I bought it. I thought it was new when I got it.
Invincible's older.
Really?
As a comic book, it's older.
Maybe what I read was a collected version of something earlier. Anyway, point is, it is a pretty gritty in some ways, even though it's not drawn that way. But a gritty look, kind of a naturalistic look, actually, at superheroes, told through the eyes of the son of this world's Superman, known as Omni-Man. And he is a late bloomer. He gets his superpowers, doesn't get his superpowers until he's 18, when he's a senior in high school. And so you actually see him explore what it's like getting powers and figuring out what kind of hero you want to be. And even so much as like figuring out how to fly, he's not very good at it. And so there's actually some great explanations in one of the episodes as his father is teaching him about the power of flight, in which he explains how the power of flight in superheroes works in a way that we've never seen before in in the portrayal of superheroes, and it makes it feel pretty realistic. Like you can imagine flying based on the way that Omni-Man teaches his son Invincible how to fly. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, I know Justin, you have. I don't know if the rest of you have had.
I read the comic book.
Yeah, it's pretty true
Is
to
it
the
faithful?
comic book.
Is
Yeah,
it faithful?
it's pretty
graphic.
It's also really graphic.
Don't
I've never
let your
seen.
kids watch it.
Yeah, it is not. for
If you want
children.
to, if you want to see a spoiler, or an old lady getting dragged on the concrete, then live, then you're not going to want your kid to watch it.
Yeah,
Is it on Amazon Prime?
it's on
Yes.
Amazon Prime. Yeah.
You should
And
like
it's-
this quite well, Travis.
Yeah, I think Lane would like it too.
Yeah, it's right up your gory little alley.
I don't want to know where his gory little alley is.
They have 4 episodes out. I don't know how many episodes it's going to be.
There's 4
this
episodes
season.
out now?
Yeah, they release on Friday, so it came out on Thursday night.
Awesome.
So they released, as Amazon has been doing recently, they're releasing the first 3 all at once and then weekly after that. So
Glad
it
you did
released
that. I'm gonna
it
watch
released
that.
last week, and then this week the episode 4 just came out. So and they're longish episodes. They're like 40 minutes, 42
Yeah.
minutes, something like that.
Yeah,
So,
that's also what I'm watching on the projector.
yeah, I mean the animation isn't anything super spectacular.
But it's
Although
still fun to watch.
but it's still fun to watch, and actually the flying scenes are really cool for animated flying scenes. And you really get a sense of the awe and wonder of being able to fly the way it's portrayed with the way the clouds are moving sort of in different layers and things like that. It's definitely worth a watch.
Is it like Chronicle? Because that has some badass flying scenes.
Yeah, Chronicle did have some pretty good flying scenes. Yeah, it was one of the things I really liked about Chronicle, even though there were things I didn't like about Chronicle. The flying I loved.
Yeah. It's I mean, okay, to put it to you like this, more of a, what was being a superhero be like if it happened in the real world type of deal in a cartoon? That makes sense.
Well, Chronicle kind of was like that too. It took more of a cynical approach, even more cynical than this, but
So this is pretty cynical because you get an old
yeah.
age.
But have you seen Chronicle? Chronicle is pretty dark.
Yeah, Chronicle's a dark movie, but
Yeah.
I really like it. I like that one.
I actually ended up liking it by and large. I had some quibbles with it, but mostly because I have this thing against found footage films, and it's one of them. But it managed to transcend some of the weaknesses of that genre of films. Anyway, check it out. It has a high body count. Be warned.
Very high body count, almost as high as Godzilla. Well, no, not quite as high, but it's close.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, I want someone to
People
do a
in
body
Godzilla vs.
counter.
Kong, they knew that Godzilla was going to Hong Kong, and they didn't bother.
To evacuate the city.
Yeah, they knew.
Like they knew it was coming, and they like at the last
were
minute, they're like,
laughing at
we're yeah, that drove me nuts.
Of course, they didn't want to evacuate Hong Kong.
because
China
people
wanted
needed
as
to
much
die.
devastation as possible.
Exactly. Well, they managed to devastate it regardless of the people.
It's not like people would have cared. There are people standing on the streets filming the fight as it happens.
I mean,
that
it was awesome.
That just proves they weren't in Hong.
We go back to the first topic.
That just
I mean-
proves they weren't in Hong Kong. They were in downtown New York City.
And then you're getting Kong slammed up against the side of a building, and you watch the whole building just rocking. And oh man, those people died with me. Had one hell of a show.
Okay. So a couple things to wind up with. So some more news from Titan season 3. Some art was released. Justin, if you could find that from the Trello card and put it up, it's kind of cool. It's a series of wanted posters that look like they're pasted up on somewhere in Gotham City, along with graffiti that says Red Hood rules, which of course is referring to the Red Hood character whom Jason Todd ends up becoming after having been Robin. And you saw him at the end of season 2, despondent and despairing when he took off and apparently comes back in season 3 as the Red Hood. But we see that the other Titans are not faring so well. We also know that that season 3 is going to be largely set in Gotham City, whereas the first 2 seasons were more around San Francisco. So we'll see that. I think George would love the direction this show is going in.
Love you, George.
So yeah, George, wherever you are, I hope you've got cable. Anyway, so keep an eye out for that. And one other thing, yeah, there you go. They're the wanted posters that you can see. Another interesting. Are you guys big Lego fans at all?
Not so much anymore.
Not so much.
No,
anymore?
no.
Okay, so you probably
I
don't care.
still am.
Okay, then, son, this is for you. So in Melbourne, Australia,
Oh, for
Oh, yeah, look at
Legos.
there apparently is this massive Lego exhibit there that recreates all these scenes from Jurassic Park, like including like full-size dinosaurs and the Jeeps and all that, and it's pretty cool. We have a link to it in the Trello card. Justin, if you can put that up really quick so people can see what that looks like. But these are really cool. They recreate the scene of the Jeep that's being pursued by the T-Rex. And in the photo, all you see is the T-Rex head. I don't know if they show the whole body, but it's a full-size T-Rex head. And then
It's so weird because that T-Rex looks like it's a VR projection.
It kind of does, but it's Legos. It is Legos.
Sadly, that is the only link in the Trello card.
Oh, you're right. Those are all image links. I thought I had added the.
Those are all the image links that link back to the exact same photograph.
Yeah, that's weird. I'll find the original story that I found. Usually it.
That's a good quote. That's a good comment. Throw that up.
Which one?
Oh wow! Okay.
I would buy that. I would buy that.
You gotta throw that up on the screen.
Yeah,
I'm like morbidly curious about how that might look. Actually,
Rena, you are on fire tonight.
Oh my
Goodness
god! I
gracious.
can't wait to get her on
the
here
family
now.
right now.
So here's the thing. Raina's always on fire. You just have never noticed before.
Yeah, clearly. Wow. Okay, so before we wind up with what are we watching? Since you guys aren't big Lego fans, how many of you are Muppet fans?
We actually like my family digs the Muppets a lot.
So NPR.
Mine are the original. I gotta dig the original. I mean, yeah, it's a Muppet.
The Muppets taught me English, so I have a place in my heart for them. It's true story.
So the Muppets or NPR did a poll with its listeners to rank the top 25 Muppets, and apparently they were ruthless, and they opened it to the original Muppets, but also like Fraggle Rock and other Muppet adjacent shows, not including Yoda, who is not a Muppet, despite the fact that he's played by Frank Oz.
And that the model was made by Jim Henson.
Right. Still not a Muppet.
He's a Muppet. As are the Ewoks.
Not Muppets.
They are Muppets.
They are not Muppets.
They're all Muppets. Always have been.
They're even in the same house now, so you don't have to fight. It's a Muppet. It's a Muppet after all. Muppet World after all.
Whoa.
Well, here's the funny thing is Elmo is only ranked number 22.
Good.
Wait, I'm actually good with.
Elmo has to poop. Jesus. We've never seen a Muppet poop before.
Son's trying to yell something.
How did Swedish Chef get 9th and Statler and Waldorf behind him at 10th?
I don't get that one either.
That's
Statler and Waldorf are definitely top 5 for me.
Exactly.
I would put them up there too. Oscar the Grouch is only 13.
Also,
Where's
I'm
Gonzo? Where's
dumbfounded
Gonzo?
that they included Statler and Waldorf together, but separated Ernie and Bert.
Yeah, they apparently had some that was an issue of some controversy in setting up this poll, and they basically, Bert and Ernie are together, but they're not like a unit. Apparently, that's what they're saying. Like Rizzo
Okay,
Rat
okay,
made the top
okay,
25. I'm
okay.
sorry, but
They
he's a
got
rat.
they got 4th place and 3rd place correct.
Who's first and third?
Beaker and Animal.
4th is Beaker, Animal is 3rd.
Who's
I
number
like
one?
Animal a lot.
It has to be
Kermit,
Kermit,
of
right?
course.
Kermit, yeah, I thought so.
Yes, Kermit, of course, is number 1. Number 2 is Gonzo.
Gonzo.
Actually,
Yay!
I'm a
Surprised
little
me, but-
surprised. I mean, I like Gonzo a lot.
Gonzo's the best.
Gonzo's good. I just didn't.
And do
expect
they
him to
even
get
have
number
Robin
2.
in there? His nephew Robin. I love Robin.
No,
Robin did not make the.
Robin did not make the 25. I'm really bummed out by that. I always loved.
Robin was a
Our
later
nephew-
addition, though.
I saw that article, Raina. Oh my god, some of those big birds were horrific. The blue one, the Argentinian one.
It's a little frightening.
I actually kind of laughed at the
Much
at
like the
their
Argentinians.
attitude towards Rizzo getting 12th place. They sound like, look, much love to the people at NPR, but they sounded like some grumpy old people. They sound like grumpy old people when they're like, "Oh, I'm sure."
And that's
the only reason
being
Rizzo
being
wins-
Carlos's
Well,
job. How
you gotta-
dare they?
well, you
Exactly.
gotta remember, NPR did this based on listeners.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
was
but
listeners
they-
rankings.
they-
So,
they were-
so
they-
who listens to NPR but grumpy old people?
Wait
Oh,
a
really?
minute.
Or
Wait a minute!
Oh,
Hey, you're getting a little close to the skin there.
I
So.
wasn't done yet.
I've been listening to NPR since I was a grumpy young person.
Or really hipster young people.
Yay! We're really hipster young people, Carlos.
They got a
I
lot of
can live
hipster
with that.
young-
Thanks, son.
Young people, because they said that they are very certain that the only reason Rizzo ranked 12th is because there's a bunch of millennials who like,
Who skewed the
only-
voting?
and
So are
I'm
you
just
saying
like,
there was voter fraud?
God,
Oh
This
my
show.
god. I love this show. All right. So that's, folks at home, that's where we stand on the Muppets. If you're listening and want to add your top 3 Muppets in the comments, feel free to do that so we can laugh at you. Just saw Andrew's comment. Sean listens to NPR, aka No Pants Radio.
So I know we're talking about the top ranked Muppets, but have you guys ever seen Muppet Burlesque?
I'm afraid. I'm
I'm
afraid.
afraid
son.
also. I'm afraid also.
I'm afraid.
is it
son.
worse
Yes,
than
there's-
Happy
there's-
Time Murders?
I can't judge. Honestly, I can't judge. But I am going to share it to the group. So there's that. So you
Shielding
don't.
his eyes because I am concerned.
Son, sometimes I say, oh my God, what's son gonna say? And then she's like, oh my God, that was worse than I thought.
Look, I can't look. I can't. It's all through Facebook, so I can't just like grab the link and share it. So it takes extra. So I'm just going to share it to the Super Geeks.
Raina,
Right.
welcome to the cursed part of the podcast where we discuss Muppets Burlesque.
Well, it is before Florida Man, so
Oh,
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's a really
And
good
we are
Florida
almost
Man.
there. So we are going to move now to our final official segment of the show, and that is, what are we watching? Please keep it short as we go around. Is that supposed? What the hell
That's
is
you. That's you.
Carlos, what do you know?
That's
It looks like
for
it looks like
Carlos.
that looked like Carlos with like a Jamaican.
That looks like Carlos in
wig
the
on.
morning. What are you guys kidding me?
Oh, that's
That looks
actually
like-
about right. That does look like
Looks
me in
like
the
he
morning.
looks like he's growing his hair out there. I know it's supposed to be a hood, but it just looks like he's growing his hair out there.
He's really a Rastafarian. He's a
Yeah, there's
Pastafarian.
something deeply, deeply wrong with that. Okay, so we're going to find out now what you all have been watching this past week. And then we'll wind up the show officially. And of course, after that, we'll be moving to our weekly Florida Man segment. So let's find out what y'all have been watching. And this week we are going to start with Sun Seal, Caught in the Matrix.
So again, the continuing watch of Stargate SG-1 is going on, and I just have to say, my God, is Jolene Blalock a great fucking gold? She is an amazing gold, and the fact that she's hooking up with Teal'c is kind of awesome. It just kind of sucks that it all seems to suddenly disappear when the Jaffa are freed.
Oh,
She
you
never
ruined
shows up
that
again.
part.
She never shows up again. Like even though they're like characters from her sect, like visibly at the temple, we never see her again because suddenly the Ori.
They ruin everything.
Son, I see your post.
See, here's the thing. I don't see it, so I was worried that it didn't show up.
Nope, it's there.
Okay, well,
I
there we
cannot
go.
unsee it.
Is it in the Facebook?
It's
group?
on the Facebook group.
all right. I'm not gonna look at the Facebook group for a while.
Yeah,
then.
I think
Yeah,
I'm
on
gonna-
the-
I think I'm gonna wait
It's
on
on
that
the
one, too.
page, not the group, actually.
Oh,
That's
is
probably why
it?
you can't see it, son.
Okay, well, there you go.
well, then I'm not looking at the page then.
Okay, well then let's move to our next host, and that would be Travis and Lane.
God,
This week on
Waldorf,
Disney
why?
Roulette. What was that?
Oh, the Waldorf.
He's still
the burlesque show.
he's still watching the burlesque show. Go ahead, Travis.
Boy.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway,
please
this-
go on.
This week on Disney Roulette,
Ah.
we pulled a we kind of got a stinker this week. That's the risk that you take with Disney Roulette. Sometimes, like, we have a lot of fun stuff, but sometimes you got to sit through the dud. But between this and Old Yeller, I think we kind of got off, like, on a good note. We, like, because this one, it wasn't terrible, but it is not anything special. We watched 101 Dalmatians 2, Patch's London Adventure.
Electric Boogaloo.
Oh my god!
And,
Yeah, definitely an electric boogaloo.
in this movie, we focus on one of the many 101 puppies, Patch, and he feels out of place in his very, very, very big family. And so, as the family moves to the farm out in the country to start their whole, they're, raising all these damn dogs that I have no idea how they're going to feed and stay financially stable. Patch gets left behind accidentally, and he goes to this contest in London to see if he can become part of the Thunderbolt show. It's a reference from the very first 101 Dalmatians. But it's pretty formulaic, but it's not terrible. In terms of Disney sequels, this one wasn't like horrible, because I've seen some horrible Disney sequels. Hunchback 2, fucking Peter Pan 2. Those are some bad sequels, but this one actually had some bits and pieces of charm here and there. I actually kind of got a good laugh out of what they did with Cruella de Vil suddenly getting like super into the world of art simply by seeing a single dot. I kid you not. That's what happens.
That's how
And
high class Cruella de Vil is.
It's just like there's just bits and pieces of this film that just kind of had me chuckling. And like when we first see Cruella de Vil in this film, I actually had a good hearty laugh, because like she's being refused entry into this fur shop because she's on probation from what happened in the last movie. And she's like, "Oh, can things possibly get any worse?" And she turns on her piece of shit, beat to shit car and the immediate song that starts playing is Cruella de Vil, and she just kicks the radio, and it's just little pieces like that just made it charming. And there are some weird
And she's
moments.
getting her own movie soon on Disney, live action.
I really do not care for that. I saw the trailer. It just seems so out of character. Like that's a thing for another thing though. So we're gonna be doing Disney Roulette tomorrow.
All right, well,
And
keep us posted on that.
Hopefully, we will pull something good.
So for those of you who are interested, there are links now, properly in appropriate places.
I'm not looking.
Yeah, so you know you're
Okay,
going
so
to this
for everyone but Travis and Lane. Meanwhile, let's find out what Raul the Baul has been watching this week.
I have been playing a game called Evil Genius 2, which is it's a satirical look at what it would be like to be one of the James Bond villains. You literally grow your base, you send your agents out into the world, and it's funny all along the way. You set up these massive traps inside your base so that when the agents come and try and penetrate your base to get to you, they land in stuff like shark pits, all sorts of stuff. It's hilarious. And it's really fun. It's a really good game. Okay. All
right. Interesting recommendation. Stalwart Justin, how about you this week?
I have been playing the Elite Dangerous Odyssey Alpha release that it came out. Some success on Monday. It's been going pretty good so far. Not too many crashes. So far better than Stars, or as lovely called in community, Scam Citizen. Yeah, this game is going to put Star Citizen into dust.
All right, Eyebrows of Doom.
I didn't really get a chance to watch anything, but something Sun posted this week that inspired me. One of the latest episodes of Food Theory, where Matt Pat goes into the origins of the Oreo and the original chocolate sandwich cream-filled cookie, the Hydrox. Being the impulse buyer that I am,
you got,
I bought a cake.
If you kind of tap and crinkle it,
you son of a
ASMR.
bitch!
Do some ASMR.
There
you go. Oh yeah.
Stop it.
I'll do more
Stop
than
it right now.
ASMR.
Oh, look what we got! Look what we
I'm
got!
gonna open this thing up right now.
You got to stop it, everybody. You got to stop it.
Stop it.
So right off the bat, there is an aroma, something that I definitely don't get from Oreos. I can smell the chocolate right away. It's very, very, very aromatic. Of course, we got the container. No self-sealing top, but these things are noticeably thicker than this. Is a double stuffed Oreo right here. So,
I'll give you something noticeably thicker, you asshole.
Oh God! Shut up.
Gotta love that smell. All right,
you guys are gonna make me wake my roommate again.
I definitely think it tastes better than your standard Oreo.
Wow.
So the all natural, no high fructose corn syrup, natural sugars, and no non-GMO seems to work out pretty well for
you know why that is, Ross? That's because for Oreo to get the kosher standing it went from using lard fat to vegetable oil, and Hydrox has never used vegetable oil in its cream to be kosher.
Wow, I didn't realize Oreos were kosher.
Oreos became kosher.
Oy vey!
It was the most expensive act of spite in food service history.
There you go.
Because it was meant to take these guys out of business.
And it didn't.
It did for about a couple of years.
Leaf Brands brought it back.
Mm.
Leaf Brands bought the recipe and the name and brought them back. Yes.
Yep.
Original recipe and everything.
Find that at my.
I got a nice tub of Bluebell orange sherbet ice cream sitting in my freezer. That is
And do you know why Leaf Brands bought the recipe and the name and brought them back? Because because the niche market for Hydrox had always been they were kosher.
Yep.
The Jewish community had literally kept singularly kept Hydrox alive until Oreo finally
Isn't it a
went
little
kosher.
counterintuitive?
Save yourself.
Well, that's the thing. Hydrox and Oreo. Well, the guys that found the two brothers that founded Nabisco, one of them got sick and went to Europe to recover, and while he was away, his brother took over the business. So when the other brother came back, he founded the company that started Hydrox, made the sandwich cookie first, and it's been rivalry ever since.
And did you know that Nabisco comes from National Biscuit Company?
Yes.
I would like Justin to put up Andrew Schmidt's comment. I think it's
You guys
really
are
relevant.
making me hungry. It's almost
Well, it is
Well,
my
I mean,
turn
no,
to
they
go
are-
next.
But they are Cuban, so I mean, of course, they are thicker.
What are you
I'm
watching,
Cuban.
Carlos?
He's not.
What? He's Cuban. I'm not.
I know we all look alike to you white people, but it's not. We're not the same.
Hey,
Although
hey,
you look
hey,
like the High
below
Father.
the belt.
Or Terax.
Sure.
You look like
Terax. I know who you're
Galactus'
talking about.
Yes, you look like Terax. The X.
I only use a giant like axe thing. It's
Like-
sitting on a
Kong.
meteor.
Like
Yes.
Kong.
To be
That's
fair,
you.
Travis, they've been talking about being below the belt this entire time, so you really have no standing.
Indeed.
And something
Okay.
that goes over your head there, Travis.
So, if any of you folks at home are going to be buying any Hydrox, please let us know. And
And
let us know
please
what-
send me a package.
yes, seriously, I really want a
Son,
Hydrox.
son is reduced to begging, but so am I.
And so am I.
Across the house.
Mr. Proud, Mr. Not Too Proud to beg.
That's right. I'm not too proud to beg.
Sweet darling. I wonder if they still sell them in stores. Yeah, did you get it off
What's the name
Amazon?
of them
I got
again?
it off of Amazon. I thought I was just buying one. I was suspicious, thought $36 was a bit expensive
Whoa,
for one
dude.
package, but it was a case.
I was going to say that
I've got about
you should
12
send
of
them
these.
to us.
So by the time we roll you out of the basement, Ross, what do you want? What do you want us to say?
I feel like I may have seen that brand in my local grocery
What's
store.
the name of the
I'll have to
brand?
check,
Hydrox.
Hydrox.
I'll check tomorrow.
It doesn't sound good, but it's great.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
no, they are
because
good. I've had them before.
the, the name
is supposed to
Hydrox.
evoke the purity of water.
Mhm.
Oh, gotcha.
The problem is there's also a pharmaceutical and medical supply company by the same name.
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
the pharmaceutical companies and the purity doesn't really mix.
Kind of like
Yeah.
there
There are no
kinda like-
pharmaceutical companies named Oreo, I can tell you that.
well, it's kind of like there's that medical company Cisco, and then the food distribution company Cisco,
Cisco, yeah.
Yeah.
and then the tech enterprise Cisco.
Right. They're spelled differently, but yeah.
And then the Deep Space
All right.
Nine,
So
Captain
Carlos, what are you
Cisco.
watching, sir?
So this week I watched a new Netflix original series called The Irregulars, which is
That looks good.
it's actually pretty good. It is it's sort of a it's not it it's a Sherlock Holmes story, although Sherlock Holmes is not the main character. The main character are these basically street urchins in London, plus a prince, actually based on an actual person, Prince Leopold, the son of one of the many children of Queen Victoria, and they are hired by Dr. Watson to help track down these supernatural crimes that are going on across London. And they eventually do run into Sherlock Holmes, who of course is a heroin addict at some point, but he is not the main character at all, and in fact isn't even that great a character, but he's there. They're there. It's really a very cool kind of comment on how people get over grief, which I think is a cool theme that drives, the more sort of actiony supernatural aspects of it. It's got a great cast, and
How does it compare to something like Penny Dreadful, Carlos?
it's not. It's a lot more understandable than Penny Dreadful. Like Penny Dreadful,
Yeah, well, Penny Dreadful is a little weird.
Yeah, this is not that weird. Ross is evil. Thank you, Justin, for that. Folks at home, make sure that's up for the folks at home too.
We should buy stock in it if we're going to advertise it this much. I'm telling you.
Seriously, we're open to sponsorship. In case
Bribery. Open.
I've got an even more evil link that I'm literally posting right now in the YouTube.
You forgot. Andrew Schmidt is on fire tonight. He also points out that we forgot the rapper Cisco.
Everybody forgets the rapper Cisco. Andrew, he's forgettable.
And then there's also Benjamin Cisco.
I said that before you
Yeah,
did.
he did.
Oh, you did? All right.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear over all this wondrous chewing I'm doing.
And, ooh, I can't believe you went there. And be honest, Travis, actually, Lane said it first.
I think we lost Travis for good.
Maybe.
Yeah,
everyone go quiet for just a second. And Ross, could you put your mouth close to the...
God damn it, no.
I just want to hear the Hydrox.
This is like fat porn.
You're out
Ross,
of control.
now look into the camera.
I took my headphones off. I don't hear anything. You all suck.
Ross, look into the camera and give it a nice sensual stare.
I'm not
Take it
putting my
both
headphones
sides and
in as
flick.
long as I see Ross in that position. I'm just saying it. Like,
Do it.
no.
Do it.
That sounds so tasty.
Ross, you suck.
Okay, well, thank you for indulging me in that, Ross, and I'm sure your many fans out there are enjoying that as well.
Only fans coming soon.
See, I feel so old when it comes to stuff like this because I like the rainbow coconut bar.
I don't think I can. I don't think I've ever had the rainbow coconut bars.
Well, I linked to it.
Oh yeah, I saw it. I saw it, but like, it just looks like it'll kill me automatically.
Look, okay, I posted it in our private chat. Go and look at it. You'll instantly recognize it the moment you see it.
Hold on, I'm looking at it.
Oh.
Oh my god! Yeah, I do. I could never have this.
On a stick.
I
On a
love
stick.
those. Yeah, it's the Atkinson Candy Company is the same company that makes the Chico stick, the peanut butter bars, which we used to call zebra candy, and then the coconut
Lord.
bar.
All of those
Heart
are
attack.
candy I hate. So that's just me.
Wait a minute, Carlos. There's candy you hate? Who are you?
Yes.
And where's Carlos?
Rainbow coconut
my
bars are among
God.
them.
They also sell the Mary
have
Jane.
Fired.
They have brownie brittle.
Ew. Sounds disgusting.
Okay, we're losing track here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. We actually are done with the show. We've heard from everybody. So, couple program notes. We, of course, will be back next week, and we will, of course, be continuing coverage of Falcon and Winter Soldier, as well as the new and final season of Supergirl, which had its season premiere this week, and we'll be talking about that.
There is no Superman and Lois this week, right?
There's no Superman and Lois for the next 6
There
weeks.
was there was Batman. No, Batwoman was this week. Supergirl starts next week. Flash was.
I agree, Raina. I agree.
Oh, what did Raina say?
What does she say?
I'm hanging on her every word now.
How dare you? So, oh god.
Chico's Stick is a classic. You know what does sound interesting? An ASMR artist that I watch on Twitter. I'm not talking about the ASMR part. I'm talking about this candy. What is it called? Something Bueno. Do you know what I'm talking?
Kinder Bueno?
That's it. Kinder Bueno.
Kinder Egg? Yeah.
Yeah, they're like little chocolatey stick
The ones
thingies.
that are illegal in the UK.
I don't know. But
No. They were illegal here in the U.S., not in the U.K. They were invented in the U.K.
Well, you can apparently get them now in the U.S., or at least you can in Tennessee.
Those are illegal.
Kinder Bueno.
Great video.
Illegal.
That's apparently the latest thing with the Gen Z types.
The Gen
Anyway,
Z
yeah, that's it. Thank you, Raina. Raina is so on top of things this week.
She's awesome.
I can't wait to disagree with her.
It'll be nice
And
to
you'll
further
be
break up the sausage
contrarian.
fest we got going on here.
I will be.
Yes.
I so will be.
It's true. It's true. See, son, we're all giving you a run for your money as the official contrarian of the
Well,
Super.
that's good because I have the leading story for Florida Man, which is not really a Florida Man story. So
Oh, I have one
Oh.
too that is also
Well,
not
maybe we
quite
should
a
get to
Florida
it, ladies and
We
gentlemen.
should. So we're going to sign off officially. Thank you for joining us, folks at home. Thanks to my fellow hosts for your wit and wisdom, of course, this week and for all the other weeks we're going to be together. Thank you, Travis and Lane, especially Lane, and to the
And
rest of you.
and remember, you are loved and appreciated by just your being you.
All right, I'll chew us out.
All right, chew us
No,
out.
I'm out of here.
I hate
And-
you, Ross.
Nope. Goodbye.
And,
Goodbye. Fucking nope.
Keyboard Cat,
Goodbye.
play us
Goodbye.
out.
Getting out of here.
When I play the maracas, I go chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom. Yes, sir, I'm Cuban Pete. I'm the craze of my native street. When I start to dance, everything goes chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom.
Chick chicken boom.
The senoritas they sing and they swing with their sombrero. It's very nice, so fun of fight. And when they're dancing, they bring a happy ring that I quiero. Sing a song all the day long.
This was
Okay,
an actual
Justin.
Mambo Kings hit, by the way. Cuban Pete was a Mambo Kings hit. in
I
the
want to hear
40s.
more Ross crunching.
He's a really modest guy. Although
You know,
Oh, Lord.
you know what I really want? I really want to watch Antonio Banderas make an ass out of himself trying to sing and dance to that song.
Well, I also have this for a later reference.
I had no
Sorry.
idea that Travis was so anti-ASMR. What's the matter with him?
I
Oh,
don't
come
think,
on.
I don't think it's. I don't.
I
think
like that. I like that,
it's
Justin.
ASMR. I think it just strikes him the wrong way.
And you know that anything
basically-
slightly perverted
It's
freaks
not
him out.
perverted, though.
No.
It
no,
is,
It's,
it is.
It's
It
that
is.
he has. It's that he has a negative reaction to ASMR, where others have the actual ASMR reaction.
Raina,
Right.
next week, whenever you're on the show, you get to help us pick on Travis.
Indeed. And
Okay.
Lane
So to start us off tonight,
on Florida Man.
right, a story that isn't necessarily Florida Man because it's a Congolese woman story that has suddenly made its way to, or finally made its way to the United States, because this was first
Okay.
reported on in 2018
Wow,
Okay.
that took a while.
and it is now coming to the US. And I have a Twitter thread here from one Silas Joy MD. It says, "Stop pumping seasoning cubes into your anus to widen your buttocks. It is not safe. Women inject these cubes with the hope that the salt and oil content will expand their tissue, making them appear larger and rounder. It can lead to hypertension."
That's a lot of sodium you're shoving straight up your butthole.
If you crush the seasoning cubes, which contain largely salt, and inject it into your anus, the lining of the anus will absorb huge portions of that salt into your bloodstream.
Jesus. It sounds so dangerous, and
It
for
really
what?
does.
Yeah.
Really does. And
But
I'm
you know, there was some sort of chicken steroid that the girls in the Caribbean were putting in their behinds. It's basically the same thing. And you would think they use it on chickens. No, why the hell would you use it on yourself? But it didn't stop them. Didn't stop these girls.
because it makes you more tasty.
Well, yeah, maybe.
So they're putting bouillon up their butt because it makes the salad tossing taste better.
Oh my.
Oh my god.
That's what drove Travis away.
Okay, well, in more Florida Man news, Florida men keep getting arrested for participating in the Capitol riot insurrection. Every week there's more, and so this week is no different.
Yeah, I was.
Florida man.
I had figured it was just a Florida Man convention up there during the Capitol riot.
Pretty much.
Florida
much.
man.
Ah, there you go. Thank you, Justin. I was
I
missing
got a
that.
positive Florida man story here.
Ooh.
Florida man to drive mower across state for charity. Titusville to Spring Hill.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
Florida man. It's by right now.
Okay, here's a good one. Just happened tonight. Florida man. It shows a photo of him. It says this is what a Florida man looks like after he was allegedly busted peeping in a woman's window, and someone hit him, and he's got this huge Band-Aid over his head, bandage over his
Florida
head.
man.
So here's a sad Florida man story. You know how cops are always like, just tell us the truth, man, and everything will be fine. Florida man, I'm not going to lie. I have drugs in the car. Florida man tells cops.
Wow, well, that was...
I wouldn't say that he wins for brains, but he sure is an honest type of criminal.
Okay, here is one. Florida man accused of drinking 4 Locos while injecting Botox without license.
Oh my God!
Without license.
4 Locos.
4 Locos is like a lot.
Yeah.
I've had to attend multiple safety briefings because of dumb college kids who died of alcohol poisoning because of the mixed signals their body gets from 4 Locos.
Oh, we have an update on the Publix masturbator.
Oh, and did he do it again?
Wait, was this the pantsless one?
The one that was masturbating in the Publix parking lot?
Masturbating? Public
Yeah.
Florida man.
So the masturbating Florida man tells police he was stressed and came to the Publix parking lot because he didn't want to masturbate at home and quote unquote get caught.
Get caught by who?
I don't think it matters. Thank you. Okay.
Well, here's a kind of a gross story, but at least the guy is getting his comeuppance. Florida man, former teacher, pleads guilty to 324 counts of filming students in dressing room. 125 victims. He has not been sentenced yet. But he's probably going away for a very long time.
I'm sure when he reveals his little secret to his fellow inmates, they'll be very pleasant with him.
The
Yeah,
weird
he's
part
not
is
gonna last long.
the weird part is I don't know if it's the same guy in this side-by-side photo, but the shaven guy looks like a young Mitch McConnell.
He does. Oh God, he does.
Wow.
Wow. Never.
You know, in jail it's going to be.
Oh God, Matt.
Well, I'm not even sure what that's supposed to mean.
So he's
It's a
gonna
marriage.
be someone's prison bitch.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
Florida
Mitch
man
McConnell.
brings,
That's really what we were missing in tonight's show are the words prison bitch.
We're so classy. I love it.
Florida man brings
Totes classy. We're totes classy.
Florida man brings shovel to gunfight and wins.
That's a Florida man. Oh, you have it there, shotgun. Look at my thing. Whoosh.
Oh, we covered that one last week about the locomotive. How do you steal a fucking train for a joyride?
Exactly. I don't get that.
Someone wasn't paying attention.
Man, I mean, anything happened?
Florida man breaks world record by watching Avengers Endgame 191 times.
Mhm.
The fact
Okay,
that
here's a good one. Doctors excited to find, quote, rare forked uvula in Florida man. You know what the uvula is?
Oh my God.
It's the hanging down thing in your throat, the back of your throat. That's called a uvula. And apparently this guy's is forked. 20-year-old bifurcated uvula.
Mhm.
No, this isn't After Dark.
Better known as that hanging down thing in the back of your throat. That's literally what people. It's the hanging down.
This isn't After Dark, Justin. It gets much more perverse After Dark.
Yeah, true.
Florida
We'd
man.
have to go to Plex Storm for After Dark.
Florida man, who also happens to be endocrinologist, caught with homemade bombs and drugs in his home.
Oh, okay.
Florida
Well,
man.
Oh, that
he
makes
was looking
sense.
to expand out. He was trying to be Baron Zemo.
Sounds like he was trying to
Florida
build a
man.
Minecraft empire in real life.
Oh, really?
Here's a Florida moron. Florida man planning million maskless march and mask burning.
Dumbass.
Oh,
No, say it with the voice, Justin.
I'm getting it. Dumbass Florida man.
There you go.
So this is actually a story we wouldn't normally cover, save for the fact that there were no victims in this case.
okay.
Florida man tapes his own cell phone to the back wall in a girl's locker room in attempt to surreptitiously produce child porn. Gets 20
Wow.
years
Oh,
because
good.
somebody was smart enough to take the phone off the fucking wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was smart.
God. It feels like we're losing brain cells.
Yeah, that's
The
pretty
more
much
we
the
go-
essence of every Florida
that-
story.
That
The
pretty
more we
much defines
go.
Florida, right?
Yeah. It's like the more we read into what goes on in that state, the worse it gets.
I'm telling you, my state is a close second. If it's
And
to
wonder what's
Florida.
wrong with Jason. This really explains a lot since he's from Florida.
Maybe we ought to branch out a bit and do Florida-like stories in other.
In
Yeah.
other states. Just to be
Yeah.
fair, is that the idea?
Florida woman accused of stabbing 77-year-old over $60 in stimulus money.
I really
Wow.
don't like that type of Florida man. I guess. Dumbass Florida man.
Okay, here's a good one because I live in I live in a state that actually does this. Florida man raffles off assault rifle for high school graduation fundraiser.
Oh, Jesus.
Florida man.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's not even a Florida man story. That's like literally every other week in Arkansas. A shotgun or a rifle.
Hey, it's for a good cause, man. Okay, here's one. Florida man fired after fake vaccine card business exposed on TikTok.
Oh my god.
TikTok is becoming some pretty hard-hitting journalism lately.
Yes,
I know.
sir.
Oh wow. Oh wow. I had to stop halfway through because of all the allegations against this one Florida man.
All right.
Florida man gets elected, hires cronies, embezzles money, buys guns and drones, has employees open carry, impersonates officer, stalks rival, steals IDs, traffics children, and gets congressmen in trouble.
This
Holy
isn't the Greenberg
shit.
guy, is he? Is this Greenberg, Jeffrey Greenberg?
I'm not sure. Let me look.
Florida man.
It's Joel Greenberg. Yeah.
Joel Greenberg, yeah. He's the guy who is the reason that Matt Gates is, being, investigated
Good for
because
him.
he's a friend of Matt Gates's, and apparently either I don't want to talk out both sides of my mouth here, but he had something to do with the woman who was in that Matt Gates apparently was involved with, and by woman I mean underage girl. Yeah.
Important
I'm going to
important,
jail.
important note, all of that stuff is still alleged.
Yes, it is all still alleged. But it ain't looking good for him. Oof. Let's just say the rats are leaving the ship right now.
I feel like we've read this one before. Lottery ticket at gas station he stole it from.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Oh, wow. Ross.
Well, I am fresh out of Florida man stories. Do you guys have any
Yeah.
more?
No, I'm
Let's
gonna call it a
There's
night,
the Avengers one
everyone.
again. This is what a Florida man looks like after he was allegedly busted peeping in women's window. You talked about that one.
Yep.
Florida man climbs into $500,000.
Oh, we lost you at the good part.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, he's gone.
Oh, quick screen cap prosperity.
So, Florida man, pastor, claims he
Aw.
can
There you are. We totally missed. We lost you at 500.
You're back now.
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah,
You're back.
I'm back.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're back now.
We lost you at 500,000.
Oh, Florida man climbs into 500,000 gallon aquarium. Baby talks the rays.
Okay.
Maybe talks. You mean like manta rays or
That's,
different like fish?
that's
rays?
what the that's just what the headline says.
He baby talks. Does that? I wonder if that works with them.
I don't know. But how do you say coochie 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 coo underwater?
That's a good question.
I mean, I know I can do it. I'm a Zora, but that's, I mean, you
Andrew,
humans don't breathe underwater.
don't
At least-
talk.
At least not for long.
You can
Oh man.
Poor Ross. His cable company's going through, or his internet company's going through maintenance tonight. So, Florida man, pastor, claims he can cure coronavirus. Mega church packed with worshipers during pandemic.
Are you back, Ross?
I'm back for
Okay.
now.
Sorry about that. Well, I do need to go because I've got an early morning tomorrow. So so I'm gonna sign off. And
Did you
so
get your second shot yet, by the way, Carlos?
did I what?
Did
No,
your
my second shot is April 24th. So I still have 3 weeks.
Okay, so here's one that's kind of glad this guy was caught. Florida man, registered sex offender, brags about his fake police uniform and fake gun.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
That's a good way to go.
Another guy that was caught on TikTok, right?
I think it may be, yeah.
Don't knock the talk. Thank you, Andrew. Andrew's on fire tonight too. Jeebus. All right. So I'm gonna sign off. Thanks everyone. See you next week. See you around the Trellos. See you around the chats. See you around Facebook.
Go ahead and end it there.
Yep.
See,
Sure.
see
All right,
you
go
around the
ahead.
Muppet Burlesque.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. Play us out, keyboard cat.
All right, everybody, and it should start playing here in a second.